My name is Nathan Ivey. Come on in. Glad to be here. Glad to be with you as always. Lots of stuff to discuss, man. A lot of stuff. We got some local stuff to talk about, some national stuff to talk about. We even getting international with a topic this morning. We're going over to the UK. We got to talk about what's happening, at least from one black woman's perspective, and she lives in the UK right now with her white husband. We're talking about the former rapper Eve. 513-873-7134. Let me say it again. Also, I want to talk about Trump's platinum plan. And don't fall for this garbage. Don't fall. Let's straight up off the tip. Don't fall for this BS. Cancel the BS platinum plan. And why is it called the platinum plan anyway? I slightly take offense to it being called the platinum plan. What is this? Like some of the white advisors around Trump, they figured that's the best way to get with the black community is call it platinum. What are they hooked on 90s hip hop or something like this? Or we're going to call it the platinum plan. Black people love platinum. Platinum plan, we'll talk about it. And the number one reason why I call it BS is because why didn't Trump do any of this? He's had 3-4 years. If he cares about black economics and black economic empowerment so much, why didn't he put this in place already? Any of it. We'll discuss. 513-873-7134. Good morning, my friends. Please like and share today's show. And don't forget, we're up on YouTube as well. If you want to share your thoughts, you can leave a comment. Give good morning to you. Good morning to you. Yeah. What's up with them Bengals? What's up with them Reds? See, the Reds finally made it back to the playoffs. How many years ago was it when they got rid of Dusty Baker? The Reds and Reds fans made a decision that they would rather lose with a white manager than win with a black manager. I'm just being honest. That's how I look at it. It's the same thing they did with the Bengals. Same thing. They're willing to sit back and wait their time, and we can wait and see with the rookie, untested, unproven white male head coach. But you were sick of the dude that took you from the doldrums to nothing, cellar dwellers, and at least put you in the playoffs. That was Marvin Lewis. It is what it is. Were they tied yesterday? I'm not really into the NFL like that. I'll see a few highlights here or there, but the largely white male ownership of the NFL has shown us what they think about us. They've shown us, and I hear it. It is what it is. And what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? And no, Colin Kaepernick, I don't ever want to see him play in the NFL again. Ever again. You want to show me something, NFL owners? We need a majority-owned, black conscious-owned NFL team that can sit at the table and make decisions about the future. That's what we need. Anything less than that is just window dressing. Don't fall for it, family. But, enjoy your sport. Enjoy your games. Enjoy it. I understand. I love sports, too. Shout out to the Lakers and the Heat. Should be an interesting NBA Finals. I got to say it again, man. I support LeBron James because so many people hated on him. I support LeBron James because he is a son of Ohio like myself. And he's a black conscious man. I got 3 good reasons. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you support these other sports teams, but I can tell you and articulate straight up why I support and I love to see LeBron James winning. I love to see LeBron James winning because so many people hate on him. I'm sick and tired of these comparisons to Jordan. It's irrelevant. Jordan did things that LeBron never did, and LeBron has done things that Jordan never did. How many players have taken 3 different teams to championships, and you're one of the best players, if not the best player on the team? 3 different teams, 3 different cities, 3 different coaching staffs, 3 different mentalities, 3 different group of players, and you take them all to the promised land. 10 times in 17 years, you go to the NBA Finals, whether you lose or not. You went to the finals 10 times out of 17 years. Man, come on, man. That's impressive. All you haters out there, just stop. You just hate the fact that a black man is being called king. That's all it is. I see right through you. Please stop. Good morning to you. 513. That light's pretty bright up there. I might turn that down. 513-873-7134. Carmelita writes, yay, the Bengals didn't lose. Right. They tied. I got some music for the Bengals for tying. Yeah, but y'all love it, though. They gave y'all a new white savior to give you hope. Joe Burrow. He's got a good arm. Okay, you keep playing that game if you want to. But a shout out. Should be an interesting NBA Finals. We'll see what happens. Again, I haven't watched any of the games live. I've caught all of them. No, I take that back. I've caught like a couple of first quarters. I always seem to go. I get up early in the morning every morning, so staying up late is kind of hard for me right now, to my chagrin, because I'm a night owl. I love to be up when it's dark. especially late at night or early in the morning. Speaking of which, good morning, choppers. What's up, early risers? What up, what up? Early risers rule the world. Got to get up early, get out ahead of your competition. They're asleep right now. They sleep, all comfortable. Oh, they thinking they winning. They way out ahead. And you're up in the morning working diligently on whatever it is you're working on. So I wish you the best. I really do. Again, 513. I'll throw the number out there a few times because I tend to forget once we get started. 513-873-7134. There's a very interesting article in the, hold on, let me pull up here. Hold on one second. I'm doing multiple things. Okay. So we got that. There's a very interesting article in the, what is this? This is the Courier Journal, Courier Journal, the Louisville Courier Journal, written by someone named Andrew Wolfson. And it was first published back on Saturday, September 26th, and then updated on Sunday, which was yesterday, September 27th. And here's the title. The very troubling questions A.G. Cameron isn't answering on the Breonna Taylor decision. Now, if you missed it, I think it's worth your time to circle back around and check out the Is It Just Me podcast with their very own Donnie B. She had a very interesting and very insightful conversation or flows or commentary about, from her perspective as a Black female lawyer, as to her reaction to Daniel Cameron's decision when it came to Breonna Taylor. Now, we already know that there were 3 officers involved. None of the officers were charged directly with any offenses directly to her, which I think to a lot of people is an affront. And, you know, people like Charles Barkley, Shaq, whoever else that's got something negative to say about this dead Black woman can kiss my black you-know-what. Let's make it political. Kiss my black this morning. That's what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on TV, you don't know a damn thing about what's going on in the real world, talking about, well, they opened fire on the cops. Yeah, but just because you're a police officer, you issue a no-knock warrant, that does not give you the right to kill innocent bystanders because you don't even know where the shots are coming from. They didn't even know where the shots were coming from. They didn't even identify where the shots were coming from. They're just shooting blindly into the house. But that's supposed to be heroic. That's supposed to be good police work. And then only one of the officers was involved with wanton reckless endangerment, right? Wanted endangerment. And that's because he endangered the lives of people who were not in Breonna Taylor's apartment. But what about her? What about her? She didn't fire any shots. I'm telling you, this is for anybody who accepts this, you are a racist or you just don't think too brightly. Either way, sit your ass down and let grown folks who know what time it is, who know how to think independently from what the mainstream media or the media is telling you, and we are logical thinkers, it doesn't make any sense. And they should have been charged with at least the reckless endangerment of her life. And that's one point that was made in this article. It's a very, very good article. I want you to make sure you check this out. A lot of questions brought up here. Here's one question. How could Hankinson be charged with wantonly endangering 3 of Taylor's neighbors by shooting into their home, but not with endangering Taylor herself? Think that's the number one question that got everybody upset. So wait a minute. Breonna Taylor didn't fire any shots. It was somebody else who fired the shots. Why weren't they charged? Why wasn't at least Hankinson charged with the wantonly endangering her life? Why not? Well, the only reason I can believe is if Daniel Cameron or whoever made the decision, Mitch McConnell or whoever, the FOP in Louisville, whoever made the decision, or all together they made the decision, they must have looked at her as if she was linked to the actions of her boyfriend who fired one shot, not multiple shots, one shot. Here's another question. Again, this is brought up from a man named Andrew Wolfson. I'm reading it from the Louisville Courier Journal. I thought it was interesting. I wanted to share with you this morning. He asked this question. Even if Mattingly and Cosgrove had the right to defend themselves by returning fire against Walker after he shot at them and hit Mattingly, did they have justification to shoot and kill her, an unarmed person who posed no threat? So, I mean, just think about what that means if you live in Louisville. What that means is that that means that if the officers perceive that they are being threatened by gunfire, no matter who they kill, it's okay because there was a threat to their life. Wait a minute. You're an officer. You're trained. Don't you have a responsibility to, number one, identify who the possible, criminal or the real threat is before you just start firing shots into residences? I think so. Here's another question. Did the grand jury even get to vote on whether Mattingly and Cosgrove should have been charged with any degree of homicide? Or did Cameron decide for them that they acted in self-defense? Think about that. Because Daniel Cameron was asked as to whether the questions and the real scenario, the process was going to be revealed to the public. He's acting as if he can't reveal it. He's trying to play on the ignorance of the public. For folks who don't know too better, let's say, well, I guess it's the law. Can't know, right? That's not true. He could release it. What did he present to the grand jury? Like, what did he present? Were there any other degrees of homicide, right, that they could have been charged with? Or did he just decide and make the case that they acted in self-defense and present to the grand jury in that way? A lot of questions that need to be asked. There's just a few I want to throw out to you. I'll post this link if you haven't already seen it in today's. I'll put it in the comment section so you can check it out for yourself. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Let me see. I post it for you right here, folks. You can check this out for yourself. And we'll post it from Sin Digital Media as well. And you can check out the article for yourself. There it is. There it is. I posted it on my YouTube page and also on CDM's page. You can check out the article that I'm talking about for yourself. Hey, what's up, Taz? She writes, the same officers botched another no-knock warrant a few years back. So clearly, hey, what's up, Taz? Hey, so clearly, I think that, it's clear to see that Daniel Cameron, while visibly being a black man, was actively using his power and his influence to work against the interest of finding justice for this black woman. I think that's very, very clear. Clearly there was more questions that have arisen, and there was more that he could have shared with us. But this is the stance that he took. Now, I want to say shout out to Chris Seelbach and the members of the city council. I know that Chris Seelbach, he's got a motion, as I understand it, that would urge an end strongly, because again, I don't think this is like they say it, so it has to be done that way. But typically, Cincinnati departments will follow the direction of Cincinnati City Council. And he wants to end no-knock warrants here in the city of Cincinnati. And I would say that is a smart city council person. Why will we have to wait until we have a Breonna Taylor situation in Cincinnati before we had this conversation? I've been saying for years, when you see these things happen in other cities, what should happen for leadership in cities not involved is you should ask yourself, could that happen here? And what are we prepared to do about it if it does? That's the question that should be asked. And I'm glad to see that there's some people on city council that are focused on other things other than talking about the Gang of Five. It's refreshing. I'm glad to see there's members of city council who are focused on things other than playing political games with the Blue Lives Matter flag or asking dumbass questions about, police officers and, coming up with political grand stunts surrounding the defund the police movement. I'm glad to see that we got some members of city council that are focused on real issues, real policy, real tangibles that'll actually matter and not 84 miles of dumbish. I'm glad to see it. Glad to see it. Also, I want to talk about Trump's platinum plan. Have you seen this? Yeah, the platinum plan. Are you ready for the platinum plan? Are you ready for the platinum plan? Platinum. Now, whoever came up with the name of this plan in Trump's office needs to be dragged into the court of public opinion and asked a series of questions. Why is it called the platinum plan? I take offense to that. Platinum. Wasn't that the 90s or early 2000s and dudes run around with platinum jewelry? It seems like one of these white folks that works for Trump or one of these disconnected black voices for Trump chairpersons, right? Now, remember, the chairman for Black Voices of Trump is dead. He died of coronavirus because he went to a Trump rally with no mask on. Think about that. The irony is just too thick. I can't bring it up. You know, I have no tears for Herman Cain whatsoever. Zero. You know what I'm saying? I hit him with the Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies. It is what it is. You want to run around doing dumb ish with the coronavirus and you catch it and die? More food, air, and clean water for the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that carbon footprint anyway. I sound morbid, don't I? I'm not. But this is the platinum plan that was unveiled over the weekend. This is President Trump's plan for Black America. Sounds real good. Let's look at some of these pillars. By achieving historic employment levels for Black Americans, as well as increasing access to capital for new businesses, President Trump has been committed to ensuring all Black Americans can achieve the American dream. But, you know, again, two things about these so-called employment levels. One, this was the work of the previous administration. This was the work of the previous administration, the policies and principles put in place under the Obama administration created economic momentum that you can chart. These are numbers. This ain't what I think. These are the facts that you can chart. I've seen it on a chart, right? The momentum started during the Obama administration, and then his efforts were so strong that they carried over into the Trump administration. And then COVID-19 came in and wiped it all out. So it doesn't exist anymore. As I understand it, the unemployment rate for African Americans is up to 13 point something percent. So as a Black man, I'm less concerned about, you know, the so-called historic employment levels that you were able to reach because of the Obama policy and principles, and then you squandered because instead of getting out here ahead of COVID-19, you was running around telling lies. Oh, it's no big deal. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing here, nothing here. Oh, it's going to go away. You're down here playing it down, thinking that your word is God Almighty and that you can move the markets. And while you standing here stalling, it costs people's businesses and lives. You don't get no props for that. Don't give this man props for this. Don't give him no props for this. The First Step Act. Trump has brought common sense criminal justice reform to the American people for the first time in decades, while ensuring that our streets and communities are safe for families and business owners. Okay. Do you feel like your streets and communities are safe? Like, do you feel safe in your streets and in your community as a Black person? And if you don't, where do you feel the threat is coming from? I'll wait. You tell me. As the first president to provide long-term funding to historically Black colleges and universities, this administration continues to seek immediate and generational advancement for Black Americans. That's just a damn lie. I mean, Roland Martin eviscerated that. He debunked that myth. That's just a damn lie. I mean, as I look through this, I mean, it sounds good if you don't read, if you don't know what's going on, but a lot of it is lies. And again, to any Trump supporters listening, any Black voices for Trump, they're like, well, what about the Democrats? Well, we'll talk about that. Right now, we're going to talk about this new plan, the Platinum Plan, right? This is the latest plan that's been offered, so let's discuss it this morning. My question is, why hasn't he put all this in place already? And then what are the actual action steps? Like sitting around in a room saying, you know what, let's come up with some good-ish that we can sell to Black voters. You know what I'm saying? About 30 days out of the election. Yeah, this will build momentum. Yeah. This sounds great. Creating 500,000 new Black-owned businesses. That sounds great. How are you going to do it? Increase access to capital in Black communities by almost $500 billion. $500 billion? Really? You telling me the Republican Senate is going to go for $500 billion to Black communities? Really? I like to see the plan. I don't believe it. Safe urban neighborhoods with the highest policing standards. What does that mean? What does that mean? More of our tax dollars going to what? Bloat police budgets so they can buy all kinds of military hardware to use on nonviolent protesters. What? Here in Cincinnati, what about 1,000 police officers? What do we need? 2,000 police officers? Is that what you're talking about? What exactly does that mean? Folks, look, you talk about political pandering in the 11th hour. This is political pandering in the 11th hour. Bring better and tailored health care to address historic disparities. Now, they'll put that up as a bullet point, but right now, as we speak, the Republican Party and the Trump administration is trying to destroy Obamacare. As we speak. They're trying to destroy Obamacare. And nobody thinks that Obamacare is better. But where is the Trump plan? You got to ask yourself, family, if Obamacare was so bad, where's the Trump plan? The Republicans had control. They was running around like Keystone cops, Keystone politicians, like running face forward into one another. They could not come up with a plan. Remember the historic moment? John McCain cast the historic vote that killed it. The reason why it's so difficult for the Republicans to come up with a better plan that's a compromise, it's a free market plan, is because if you're looking for a plan like that, you got the best version of it. You know what it's called? It's called Obamacare. Progressives like myself and others don't like Obamacare. Obamacare isn't progressive enough. Obamacare was a compromise between the Republicans and the healthcare industry and the Democrats. It wasn't what progressive wanted. It wasn't what people on the left wanted. That's not what they wanted. It was a compromise. That's the reason why it's so difficult for the Republicans to come up with a better plan. Because any plan they would come up with would look just like Obamacare. Which, if you look at poll numbers, a lot of people like it. So at the same time, he wants to come to black voters and say, oh, yeah, we're going to come up with this better tailored health care to address historic disparities. Why aren't you doing it now? Like, what is the Trump's plan? Like right now in the state of Ohio, and I bet you, I haven't done the research on this, but let's just think logically about the world that we live in, right? In the state of Ohio, the governor convened a special body to specifically look at the health disparities that became even more magnified once COVID-19 hit, right? It was his task force, right, on black healthcare. Where's Trump's task force? Why aren't these things put in place already? How can you do two things at one time? How can you, in public and in private, do everything you can to try to play down COVID-19 and therefore your response? But then now you want to jump up here in the last weekend of September, and claim that you're going to give us better health care. Doesn't make any sense. I don't think that anybody in this audience will fall for this nonsense, but you know, for folks out there that they may not be here on a regular basis, you may not get the gospel of flow on a regular basis. I want to make sure you know and hear exactly what's going on here. Don't fall for this nonsense. This is straight BS, 100%. And anybody that tells you otherwise is either lying to you or they just don't know better. All right, let's go to the phone. Let's take our first phone call this morning. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection calling in from the left coast, also known as the People's Republic of California. This is your man and the most hated and the most beloved at the same time, Drop Squad 52. How are you, sir?
Yeah, man. I'm doing great. How's your weekend, Drop?
Oh, it was great, Mr. Ivey. Some great NFL football.
Good.
The Los Angeles Lakers and the professional Negro at his best with his will and determination pushing the Lakers all the way to the NBA Finals starting Wednesday against the number 5 seed Miami Heat. Well, Mr. Ivey, your monologue when I turn the show on it's beautiful, sir. Your passion is outstanding, especially when you speak of the Donald John Trump, Mike Pence, 2021 to 2025 platinum plan for Black America. Mr. Ivey, I can tell that you were impressed because you did not compare it to Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. their black agenda. Why not put them side to side and read the agenda, Mr. Ivey, and compare?
There really is no comparison.
The different. Wait. Well, ho. There is a comparison because you failed to mention the most important section in the Platinum Plan, which is education. Why didn't you talk about the education portion of the Platinum Plan, Mr. Ivey? Read that portion, Mr. Ivey.
I'm asking you, what did I miss?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 6 bullet points. Read them, Mr. Ivey.
Well, it should be easy for you to
Why
recite.
are you leaving off the most important part in the black community, which is education and economics?
Okay. Well, if you feel like I left something out that's important to the conversation, go ahead and feel free to put it on the table.
Okay. Well, one of the bullet points under more education opportunities for the African American community is spur innovation ecosystems by connecting minority institutions with the federal government's broad range of scientific and engineering research and development. Do you know what that means, Mr. Ivey?
I don't think anybody does.
That basically means that there will be a drive to bring back vocational schools. You remember back in the day, Mr. Ivey, where you could go to learn how to be, learn to be an auto mechanic, learn to be a craftsman, a woodsman.
Back in the day, a lot of people like those programs.
Right. You remember all those programs? They're gone now. Okay, because everybody doesn't want to go to college, Mr. Ivey. The male black enrollment in college is almost down 70%, Mr. Ivey. So again, trust will verify everything. But I am so happy that you're talking about it, Mr. Ivey, and that's why I mess with your show, because you bring these things to the attention of your well-educated, well-informed audience that they're going to look. Some people are going to actually go look at that catchy name. It caught your attention, the Platinum Plan.
Oh, man. Political pandering at its absolute finest.
It's politics, Mr. Ivey. What's the name of Joe Biden's plan?
I think it's called
Say
Lift
it,
Every
Mr.
Voice.
Ivey. Say it. What is it?
I think it's called Lift Every Voice. Or Lift Every Vote.
There you
or something
go.
like that.
If that's okay, but that's not pandering.
Lift Every Voice. Equally as sappy, but if I was grading the two in terms of political pandering, I think the Platinum Plan is far more, to me, is mildly offensive. But that's just me.
But you just said it, Mr. Ivey. You admitted that there is some truth to the fact that black people are attracted to titles and items of that nature. The gold plan, the platinum plan. I mean, come on, that's a fact. That's why you're so irate about it. Because Donald Trump and his team are doing what many other Republicans and Democrats have failed to do, to actually connect directly with the black voter. Now, again, Mr. Ivey,
his poll number suggests otherwise. One more point. And here's my biggest issue with it. One of my biggest issues, I don't believe it. I don't believe a damn thing. Because my question is,
why would you not believe it, Mr. Ivey?
The reason why is he's been in office for how many years?
Barely, only 3.5 years.
So he's been in office a whole term, and he's got a majority of the Senate. Why hasn't he offered any of these things to this
Mr.
point?
Ivey, you got to be correct, Mr. Ivey. His first 2 years, from 2016 to 2018, he had control of both houses of Congress. Am I correct?
Who are you speaking of, Trump?
No, he didn't. Right. He didn't.
I never said
he had control of the House with you remember the guy who was Mitt Romney's vice president. I can't think of his name now. He's from Wisconsin. He's gone now. But he controlled the House of Representatives, but he did not control the Senate. And he came in and he got the 2017 Tax Act passed. He failed to overturn Obamacare because of John McCain. We remember that. You remember that, right, Mr. Ivey?
I just brought up earlier
the dramatic vote.
But here's my
dramatic vote where John McCain showed up on the floor of the Senate with a big Band-Aid on his head, and he did the thumbs down.
We both can't talk at the same time.
He shocked every Republican.
Yeah, I know, but the audience will not be able to hear us if we both talking. Okay, so let me get back to my question. My question to you is, and the reason why I don't believe it is, why hasn't he offered this, proposed this, or put it in place? Why hasn't he pushed for any of this if he cares so much about the black community? He's been in office for a whole term.
Because like I just said, Mr. Ivey, when Nancy Pelosi took the gavel back in 2018, her and these other Democrats who were elected, they vowed, just like the Republicans did in 2009 when Obama was elected, they vowed to get rid of Trump. And they proceeded by filing articles of impeachment, numerous investigations, the Mueller report, the Russia report, all these investigations into
that's
Donald
one investigation.
Trump.
That's the same.
Okay.
It's not numerous.
So again, Mr. Ivey.
Two things you said are the same investigation. The Mueller report was the investigation into Russian collusion, by the way. So you still didn't answer me why he hasn't put this in place or proposed it or pushed it.
Because there was no support from the Democrats in the House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi vowed to not deal with Trump. Period. Mr. Ivey, why are you distracting again?
I'm not distracted.
From the
I'm just whittling down to the point that I'm trying to make.
Which is a platform offered by the Republican Party to the black Americans of this country, whether they vote Democrat, whether they vote independent, or they are not interested in politics at all. Donald Trump is putting, like you said, tangibles. Right? Didn't you say tangibles?
Yeah, but I don't see any tangibles. I see ideas that could have been in place.
I just chose.
He could have. No, you didn't.
Okay, but that's your opinion.
No, to be fair,
Mr. Ivey, are you deciding?
To be fair, your response does just not hold up. Okay, so what you telling me?
Why? Because you don't like it.
Explain to you. What you're telling me is that the reason why Trump didn't offer any of these plans over the last 3 or 4 years is because he might have met opposition. That's what you're telling me, and you're buying that?
No. Well, actually, Mr. Ivey, if you read the entire plan, this is just an extension of what has already been going on with opportunity zones, with Betty DeVos trying to expand schools and school choice, with Dr. Ben Carson and his what do you call them, empowerment zones, and these the extension of the Steve Harvey. I forgot the name of it, but I brought it to your attention last month. All this new platinum plan it's an extension of those things. He's putting down on paper that if he's reelected, these are the things that he's going to expand on and continue with his agenda for black people that he's been doing the past 3.5 years. You mentioned it, Black Voices for Trump. I mean, Mr. Ivey, I don't need to go on with all these black voices that are out here in social media that are not Democrats, okay? It's not that they're all Republicans. It's just more and more of the black divide being exposed. You got Roland Martin. You got Dr. Boyce Watkins. You got all these so-called prominent black voices that have been around way before Donald Trump. And you have the audacity to bring up Barack Obama. I mean, how dare you when his vice president is now running for president? So some of the same questions that you have about Donald Trump and why didn't he get things done in his short 3 years, you could ask the same question to Sleepy Joe Biden.
No, we couldn't.
Why didn't you and your magic Negro get all this stuff done in 8 years? That's a legitimate question.
We're not talking about Joe Biden right now. See, we're talking about the current president. So it wouldn't even be accurate to ask Joe Biden that question. He hasn't been the president for the last couple of years. So again, I don't believe none of this. I hear what you're trying to say. Your answer slightly changed a little bit. First, you try to say, well, he didn't offer it because Nancy Pelosi wouldn't have worked with him. And then you said it was an extension of what he's already done. So, I mean, I'll leave it alone.
Mr. Ivey.
Here's another one. Make Juneteenth a national holiday. So all of a sudden, he wants to make Juneteenth a national holiday. Why hasn't he been talking about this? He's been in office for 3 national Juneteenths. Never talked about it until the 11th hour. Here he is a month out of the election. Doesn't that seem a little convenient?
No, it seems like a man that is actually campaigning to a constituent that traditionally does not vote Republican.
So pandering.
He broke the barrier. He got 10% in 2016, Mr. Ivey. Current polling shows that right now, Donald Trump is slated to get above 15%. Now, how much more than 15? It's up in the air. But it is clear internal polling for the Republicans and internal polling for the Democrats show that they are having major problems with the young black vote. You brought it up the other day. I saw somewhere on one of your media pay, I forgot where I saw it, but you mentioned 538, Nate Silver. And they did a study about the black vote, and they broke it all down because they basically said there are very few polls that specifically only targets black voters. So he broke it down. The research is there. Nate Silver, 538. Okay. Now, Mr. Ivey, I know you don't want me to read from that because there are issues within the black voting demographic in the Democrat Party, also known as the monolith. So again, Mr. Ivey, the Platinum Plan is nothing more than Donald Trump showing tangibles, okay?
No,
showing
tangibles.
Actual things that are available if you decide to walk away from the Democrat Party.
Who might be low information voters. That's why it's key for shows like this and people like me to keep it real and to run through this nonsense. And like I told you, if Trump was really a champion for black people, then he would have been championing this for the last 3 to 4 years. He waits until the last minute to try to court voters because he can see that the numbers, the poll numbers, they ain't really trending and polling in his favor. So now he wants to come with his so-called Platinum Plan. But I can see you bought it hook, line, and sinker, though. So
no, Mr. Ivey. Now see, there it goes. There you go
hook,
again.
Line, and sinker.
No, Mr. Ivey.
They brought
you have to
said,
just
drink
present
the Kool-Aid, and you said thank you.
Mr. Ivey, you just have to present the information, okay? Because there are some black people that are going to read it because of you, because you brought it up.
Absolutely.
Okay? And they're going to say, oh, it can't be as bad as Nate is making it out to be. Let me go see what it actually says.
They should.
Because you always say,
and they should
you always
themselves.
talk about the intellectual prowess, of your audience.
Yeah,
you
very smart,
constantly
intelligent people.
Bring that to the light.
Yeah, I'm
so
speaking
people
to the
are going to go read
right now.
the Platinum Plan because it is very catchy, and you know it's catchy.
Actually, it's not catchy at all.
Plan, baby.
It's actually
at least he ain't offering.
There's nothing catchy about it.
Oh, it's
but
not.
I can see you in
it
love
caught
with
you. It caught you.
No, it didn't actually.
Oh, it didn't.
No.
Oh, you just being a objective member of the new black media, right? Just reporting
Absolutely,
the news.
100%.
Not interpreting
I thought to myself,
just reporting.
What Karen or Darren in the White House thought it would be a good idea to call this the Platinum Plan? They must have been watching some old Nelly videos or something like that from the 90s, early 2000s.
No, it was probably.
That's what I thought.
It was probably Pastor Daryl Scott because this seems right up his alley to come up with a name like this.
Was he the co-chair for Black Voices for Trump? You're probably right about
that.
Yeah, you probably right. He said, we got him now, the Platinum Plan. It sounds like some dumbish, straight off the top.
No.
So I was offended.
Okay,
I was mildly offended when I heard the name.
But Mr. Ivey, before I go, you do have to admit that the Platinum Plan is something that you would hear coming from a preacher's mouth standing in the pulpit.
I would.
You know it's true.
I agree on that one. You're right about that.
All right, that's all I got.
That's all I need.
That's all I got, Mr. Ivey.
That's all I need.
You have a great day, Mr. Ivey,
you too,
and
brother.
wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Tomorrow, it's gonna be the bomb.
It's gonna be good.
Squad
right.
52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out, choppers.
Yeah, drops. What? You got a little. That seemed like what? That seemed like a little Mason Mahler-esque ending there at the end. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. But listen, me and Drop is tight, man. That's my bro right there. It's my brother on the left coast. We just don't see eye to eye on some of the politics. Other than that, we 100% tight on it. Good morning to you. Broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. My name is Nathan Ivey, and you're more than welcome to join the conversation. Let me look at my time right here, 8:36. So, yeah, I got a break coming up real soon. Did you hear that Charlie Winburn ad? Oh, yeah. Charlie's going he's going hard at Jill Schiller. He's going hard. We'll put it that way, to put it mildly. Again, this is a media platform. I'm open to Democrats and Republicans. In the day's digital world, if you're running for office, you should definitely hit your terrestrial spots and you should multiply it using platforms like this. Smart politicians do that. They know about the Nathan Ivey Show. So I'll leave it like that. The door is open. Do your due diligence. Oh, man. You'll hear it here in a second. We'll play it again, up in the next break, along with some Bloomberg Urban Report. A lot of stuff going on in the world of black finances. So, yeah, I mean, you make your own decision about it. To me, the number one question I have is you've been in office for 4 years. Why haven't you been giving a voice to some of these issues if you care so much about them? We ain't heard you say nothing about making lynching a national hate crime until now, the 11th hour right before the November election. And we're supposed to take that and believe you? What we've seen from Trump is that Trump will do and say anything to get what he wants. Don't let him play you like a sucker. And again, I know I'm speaking to the choir here with the smart, intelligent people that comprise the Nathan Ivey Show. We are not dumb. We are highly intelligent. And I know you can see through all this nonsense straight off the top. Again, 513-873-7134. Talking about some new questions that have sort of bubbled to the surface since Daniel Cameron, delivered his decision last week. Why wasn't Hankinson charged with the wanton endangerment of Taylor's life? Doesn't make any sense. She didn't fire any shots. And people like Charles Barkley need to shut the hell up. Stick to sports, Charles. That's why you never won a championship. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't all come together for you. I can tell. Sitting on TV on a national program, you're supposed to be talking about basketball, talking about how somebody fired at the cops. I mean, some of these folks that they put in front of these microphones and in front of these television cameras, man, it makes you wonder if they're not put there precisely because of those particular positions that they know that they'll take. So the police in Louisville can kill unarmed people that pose no threat to them and not be charged or held accountable whatsoever. And you're just firing shots wildly into an apartment. Again, I'll say for the folks out there that want to believe that Breonna Taylor was like the black female Pablo Escobar, she was the queen of the Kentucky drug trade or something like that. There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence. But there are some people that would rather believe that standing over the grave of this dead black woman than they would hold police officers accountable. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Maybe you do. 513-873-7134. I'm in the chop shop. Tanika writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Iona writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Miss Tiffany writes, good morning. Miss D writes, greetings. Tracy from Cincinnati writes, hi. Sharp writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. It's a new week. Last few days of the month. What's going to happen in October? I mean, 2020 has been one hell of a year. It's been one for the record books. And 2020, man, it could be even worse or similar. Again, this coronavirus thing, straight through Christmas into next year. National healthcare officials are saying we are not out of this maybe until mid or late next year. This ain't over with yet. Even though the babies, the children are getting ready to go back to school. How do you feel about that? I'll be honest with you. I'm uncomfortable. I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm uneasy. Ray writes grand risings. Brent writes happy Monday. Pat writes good morning. Deborah writes good morning, Nathan Choppers. IT writes good morning, Choppers. Last night on Twitter, somebody threw their political career away by using gay slurs on the app. I'm not going to laugh at the guy, but I told you years ago this person was trash. Alt middles for the children. You are immersed. But I'm scussing his son. Who you talking about, IT? Who you talking about? Tanika writes, oh, it's a getting married, y'all. You know what? Congratulations to you, Tanika. I did see that. Tanika, one of the Choppers, is getting married. Black love is a beautiful thing. Hope you remembered everything I shared with you from being 20 years in the marriage game. I hope you listen to me. Love is a beautiful thing, and that's a part of the equation. But the number one equation in anybody getting married in these days and times, I don't care how old you are, the older you are, the more real this is because you got less time to make mistakes and then get back on your feet. Marriage is a business. Marriage is a business. Say it with me, y'all. Marriage is a business. That is your business partner, period. That's the number one thing and the last thing. I know we all got different religious beliefs and things like that, and that's cool. That plays a part into it. But in this world, right here, right now, in this reality, it's about business, right? Are they going to serve your overall interest moving forward? How do you see yourself in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? Okay. How are you going to mesh together, right, as this new legal union? Because that's a legal union. That's a legal union. You're going to be legally together in so many different ways. There are things that if something happens to me that only my wife has control over and vice versa. Her mama ain't got no control. My mama ain't got no control. It don't matter what they think. I make the decision. She makes the decision. Legal, business, building wealth. If you ain't building wealth together, why you doing it? Because you can kick it with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? You can date with a lot of people. Dating is fun. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't about business, but I know Tanika's on top of her business already, so I ain't got to say no more. Mason Muller writes, morning, Nate and Choppers. Flows, hashtag flows ready to eat for everybody. Hashtag need the Gucci plan. We need the Gucci plan. Why I got to be platinum in Gucci, man? I mean, he said the Gucci plan. Hashtag clout chasing is a pre-existing condition. Hashtag powerfully authentic. Hashtag Jordan sold out for the Jesse Helms vote. Okay. There are a lot of clout chasers out there. Renee writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Renee. People, congratulations to Tanika. Congratulations to you. That's right. It's a beautiful thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you can find this crazy world, man, this world is so crazy. It's so cutthroat. There's so few people that as you go through life are actually going to be lifelong real friends. People throw that name around, that term around a lot. I don't do that. I don't throw it around. I don't throw the I love you around. I don't do the play cousins. I don't do none of that. Because if I'm calling you that, when I call on you and need you, I need you to be there. Because if I let you call me that, when you call on me, I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? People play games with these titles. You need to stop all of that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to finding somebody in this crazy mixed up dog eat dog world where you can't trust nobody is hard to do. It's hard to find somebody out there that is of a certain standard that's going to meet your goals and also be real with you and be honest with you. It's hard to do because we are God's just unstable, just imperfect little creatures. You know what I'm saying? Grown up children. And, 18 plus, still with the mentality of a child. Me, I need, I want, greed, gimme, right? That's the mentality of a lot of people, whether they tell you or not. That is the mentality of most people, whether they tell you or not. So if you can find somebody in that crazy circumstance, man, hold on to them tight. That's the reason why I don't necessarily have a problem with interracial dating. Like, I have my own standards. What's good for somebody else is not good for me. You know what I'm saying? I always knew that if I got married, it would be to a black woman. My mother's black. My grandmother's black. It's just me, okay? But, you find somebody that's outside your race, they real with you. They're going to be there for you and deal with you and all your all your baggage. They bring in something to your life that really matters. And you're not going to lose yourself like Eve has. Do it. Do it. What's going on? Go ahead and put it right there. Put it right there. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's the wifey right there. Appreciate her. She's going through some difficult times right now, but do it. Love who love you, man. This world is crazy. That's if you into marriage and you really want to get married and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Is marriage worth it? Yeah, if you make it worth it. If you go into it with the right idea. If you run around here on some 1776 type-ish mentality and you're not really planning and building, then you're just living with somebody. No. Nope. So Eve got dragged on Twitter because apparently they got this new, TV One is doing this new special. And they asked her, or somehow it came up, about race, right? It's called Uncensored. And the episode airs on October the 9th. And apparently she says some stuff about race that made some people upset, where she says that she no longer thinks about race. She don't think about her race or the race of her husband because he's rich and they living in the UK and things are different over there. And that's why my advice would be, and she got dragged on Twitter over the weekend for it. My advice is, you're not in the United States. You don't know what's going on. So your racial worldview is shaped by the world that you're living in. You're living in a whole different experience. Stop talking about it. Why do you keep asking her about this? You don't have nothing to add to it. You're not even here in the United States. And, she's just coming across, I don't know. The way people are taking it is that she's coming across badly. At the end of the day, just like I told you, if you find yourself in an interracial relationship and you're not losing yourself as a black person and you know what time it is and you found somebody that's willing to deal with you and all your baggage, because everybody got baggage, then do it. Love who you love who loves you. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you into. But, I don't see race. This whole colorblind thing is just so lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? When white people say that and they think that they're really saying something, they're really showing their ignorance. You know what I'm saying? I don't see race. That ain't the point. The point is that you see race, but you don't project all the stereotypes into particularly black folks that, prevailing attitudes and a racist white supremacist culture has been selling to us about us for years and years and years, for hundreds of years, right? That's the real issue. Well, I've seen some white folks, they might be well-intentioned. I don't see race. You see race. That ain't even a point whether you see race or not. I don't see color. That is a lie. It is impossible not to. You might be saying that the color is not a barrier, that I don't judge a person by their color. Okay, I can understand that. I think even that is a stretch on some levels because the older you get, especially, you bring your sum total experiences to the table. But listen, if Eve is happy and, she's a fly girl in the buttermilk and she's living her whole different reality in the UK, when you do that, boo, and TV1, stop putting her ass on TV. We don't want to hear what she got to say. Why? She got a new album coming out or something, and she telling her stripper tales, which, if it's a great American success story again, that's great. But, because she was a stripper, and I have nothing against strippers. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing against it. Not because I'm a man and I got purient interest. It's because make your money, boo. If it's legal, make your money. Make your money. You can still have integrity and be an exotic dancer. You ain't got to be somebody's hoe just because you a dancer. I don't believe that one bit. So if she's telling her rags the richest tale and that inspires young ladies to be all they can be and do whatever they're going to do, cool. But, her commentary about race in America. Hey, what's up, Libby? Hey, what's up, Kendall? Good morning to you. It's getting real old. What is this? What is this? I'm going to check this out during the break, Libby. Thank you. She just hit me up. It was on Facebook. I appreciate it. I want to say props to two people. Rick Ross. I never thought I'd say this. Props to the fake Rick Ross. Props to the fake Rick Ross. I'm not a big fan of the fake Rick Ross because he stole a whole identity from the real Rick Ross. Now, the fake Rick Ross, who calls himself the biggest boss, Rick Ross, on Instagram, in terms of flows, he got flowetry. In terms of music, crazy, crazy bars. Crazy bars. Okay? I give him props for that. He's a crazy lyricist. He knows how to make good music. Aston Martin music. But he stole his name and his to some degree his identity from the real Rick Ross, right? It is what it is. So I've been I'm on the fence when it comes to the biggest boss, Rick Ross, until now, because I love some of his latest Instagram videos where he's going hard at Tory Lane. I'm about that life. I love it. This weak ass man shot this woman on some drunk-ish, then try to put out an album to profit off of it? What is happening to maledom? What kind of man does this? Number one, what kind of man shoots a woman who's no threat to you whatsoever? Who are you? I ain't with it. I ain't with it one bit. I believe that sister. I believe Meg the Stallion. I've seen her videos. I've got a human lie detector system that God put in my head. It's like my spidey sense. I know when people are telling the truth, and she was telling the truth. Tried to defend this Smurf. And then this dude gonna try to profit off of it? Tell me, I was drunk. You was drunk. What kind of man drinks and can't hold your liquor? That's number one. I don't got no respect for this weakness. So I'm loving that the biggest boss, Rick Ross, is going hard at him. He called a little boy. You see that? Oh, it was hilarious. Shout out to J.R. Smith, who is now a part of the LA Lakers Western Conference winners last night. He put out a video and was taking shots at Tory Lane. See, the brothers in the industry got to go at Tory Lane. You know what I'm saying? You can't be civilians like me and you because he ain't going to really see it. I love it. The hell is wrong with you? What's wrong with these men out here these days, ladies? I feel for you. That's why it's so hard for you. That's why when I see black love, I'm always happy for it. Because it's hard for you to find high quality black men out here who ain't all caught up, you know what I'm saying, you know, on some insecurity, ego, Napoleonic, whatever that damn issue might be at the time. It's a lot of these dudes out here. You gonna shoot this woman for what? I love it. And then you're gonna try to make money off of it? Hey, good morning to you, Fast Pitch. You gonna try to make money off of it? Nah, hell no. Hell no. I love it. Props to Rick Ross. Never thought I'd say that. Prop to Rick Ross this morning. I appreciate what you're doing, brother. Keep it on him. You know, he deserves it. This weakness out here. Listen, here's my number, 513-873-7134. I got to move into a break, family. We'll come right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, powered by Sin Digital Media, a new voice in the city of Cincinnati. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. The issue of racial equality and Black Lives Matter is front and center in the news. The Black Lives Matter movement was started in 2013. Co-founder Alicia Garza.
It really was just an idea whose time had come. And we were really able to meet a moment, particularly around the acquittal of a man in the murder of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. And we were able to talk about Black Lives Matter, not just in relationship to police violence or vigilante violence, but certainly to connect those types and forms of violence to the everyday experiences of Black communities around the world.
And the issue brought communities together.
And so I think what we're seeing here is a real deepening and connecting between and amongst communities around the ways in which disparities and inequality impact our lives.
Alicia Garza was one of the participants in Bloomberg's Equality Summit last week. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Jill Schiller has been missing in action, and now we know why. Did you know that Jill Schiller, candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, got away with a dangerous offense? Her friends and connections at Cincinnati City Hall turned their heads when she was racing through a Cincinnati public school zone doing 52 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. She could have killed a child. As a mother of 3, that's concerning. 25,000 children are injured each year because of speeding in a school zone. 100 children are killed in school zones each year by people like Schiller. Schiller should have served 5 days in jail as the law states, but being privileged kept her out while you, the public, would have gone to jail. Her friends and connections at City Hall only fined her $60, and they quickly destroyed the evidence the next day. We cannot trust Schiller with our school children. Should we trust her to protect and safeguard our tax dollars? Vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. We can trust him to safeguard our tax dollars and our children.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. A beautiful Monday morning. It's the last Monday in September. Of course, this week in terms of national politics. You got the first presidential debate. And I think it's going to have an impact on the poll numbers. I really do. I think it'll have an impact on the way people perceive Donald Trump and Joe Biden for both supporters. Like if you're Donald Trump, you're looking to prove that everything you said about Joe Biden in terms of him being sleepy Joe Biden, not being able to articulate himself, and, you know, some of these doctored videos where they try to show that Joe Biden was asleep and it was really altered by somebody that's a friend of the Donald Trump campaign. Like if all this stuff is true and you're Donald Trump, then this week you're going to have to prove it. We want to see it. And if you're Joe Biden, then you've been saying that Trump is a liar. You've been saying that he's unhinged, that he's not mentally stable. Well, you're going to get a chance to prove it this week at the debate. This debate is going to be less about substance and more about style. It's going to be more about how you carry yourself and how you stand up to the other person. And if you're Joe Biden and you're dealing with a man who shows no problems with getting in front of the American public and lying, that can be a hard thing to deal with. What I think they need to do is to hit Donald Trump where it hurts. They need to figure out what he cares about and hit him there. Okay, it may not be the substance that people are looking for, because Hillary Clinton tried that. You know, she tried that. She tried to keep it real and hit back a little bit and talk about the substance. It just didn't work. It didn't play too well. And Trump was able to get the one-liners in. Remember this when he said, look, yeah, because I was the president, you'd be in jail. Remember that? That's what people are going to remember. People say they want substance in these debates, what they're going to get, but what they're really going to respond to is the sizzle. It is what it is. Good morning, family. Hey, listen, please if you like this content, please like and share today's show. If you like this content, please like and share today's show so more people can get the gospel of early morning flow from yours truly, Nathan Ivey. Somebody's got to do it. It might as well be us. All right, so please like and share today's show. Even if it's in a particular Facebook group where you see it's already been shared, when you share it, somebody new is going to see it. I guarantee this is how it works. And when you share the show, more people see it. Come into your comments, your questions, but right now, taking your phone calls at 513-873-7134. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kevin on the cell.
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
How you doing? Trying to make it, man. I think you're wrong. I disagree.
Okay.
Vehemently. This debate is going to show that, quote-unquote, sleepy Joe Biden actually does know about policy and does have policies. And the other guy is the guy that's going to have to play that whole, hey, this is reality TV. And I think it's going to work out really bad for him. Because the one thing that Joe Biden really does know, honestly, after 40 years in Congress, is about policy and making policies. And the one thing that Mr. Trump does not know is about policies and making policies. So I think if I'm Joe Biden's team, I'm like, hey, look, best thing we can do is we're just going to go after the actual issues, and we'll let him, talk about us and make fun of us or whatever he does, and crack jokes and that kind of stuff. That's what I would do.
Well, Kev, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Did you watch any of the debates in 2016?
I watched most of the debates in
so
2016.
Let me ask you this. Tell me the one thing that you recall.
That Donald Trump likes to interject a lot. He yells a lot, and he likes to make fun of people. That's what I recall.
I'm saying, what do you recall in terms of what they said?
What did exactly? That's exactly my point. Nothing.
The one thing,
I don't recall any of the. Only thing I recall. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The one thing that I recall, if I'm being honest with you, is I remember when Donald Trump said, and this got played over and over again. I remember when he said to Hillary Clinton, they were talking about police, who become president. He said, "Yeah, if I was president, you'd be in jail." Like, that's the one thing that I remember from all of those debates. I think that people go into it saying they want substance, but what really sticks with people in these presidential debates is the sizzle. Like I remember the one thing I
Now, here's
remember
what's
going.
fun.
The one thing I remember going back to Mitch and Obama's debate is, and they debated a lot, but the one thing I remember was that one-liner when Mitch was trying to show, or he was trying to act like Obama was decreasing the military spending. And he was like, yeah, we don't spend a whole lot of money on, bayonets and horses either. The military evolves. I remember that one-liner. So again, maybe I'm wrong. I would love for it to be about substance, but in recent memory, what I remember is just those one-liners and the sizzle.
Right, and so keep in mind that that's what Donald Trump does, is one-liners and the sizzle, and that's great. By the way, another lie, right, because he's president and she ain't in jail, so there you go. But that being said, I think that's you're actually making my point for me. That is what people remember, but that's not what the debates are supposed to be about, right? And I'm going to tell you, Joe Biden, when he debated, now I'm going to take you back, 8 months ago or 9 months ago, however long it's been, right, to the primary debate. And I'm gonna ask you, do you remember any of that stuff being said, especially by Joe Biden? Do you remember if any of those one-liners or zingers from Joe Biden?
What I remember from the primary that stands out to my head the most is when Kamala said that she was that little girl to Joe Biden. I remember that.
Do you remember his response?
I don't remember his response. I remember he apologized or something like that, but no, I don't. But that's the one thing that I remember, like top of mind from the whole Democratic primary process, was that little zinger, that comeback from Kamala.
So here's what's funny though. The response was the photo op when he was shaking hands with her at the end of the debate, that is now part of his campaign and part of what he is showing on over and over and over again when you see his commercials. So you're right about one thing. Donald Trump's going to be there to play current day politics. And Joe Biden's going to do what Joe Biden does, which is what he did in that debate, and the reason why you don't remember any of his one-liners. He talked about substance and policy. That's what he talked about. when they went, you know what I remember from that, though? The biggest thing I remember from that, the only zinger that he actually sent was when he said, why is it that I'm the only one up here that has any respect or is treating us with any respect? Or maybe it's because of my Catholic upbringing or whatever he said. That's the only one-liner that I actually remember from the debate. Now, it's colored by the fact that I kind of wanted him to win, because I think we need a statesman in the White House, and it's enough. It's time out for all the people who are playing politics that want to be there to have a reality show or whatever. My daughter's life, your daughter's life, your life, my life, and the lives of all the people that are here in this country are not a reality show. It is a reality. You know what I mean? And there are 200,000 people dead on his watch. There are mass opportunities out there, and all he's doing is still running his reality show. Well, Donald Trump, you're fired. So we can just keep it moving. We can keep it moving and move on to the next. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say was, for all you people that are holding out hope, all you Trumpsters out there that are holding out hope, I was watching an interview over the weekend on January 20th at 12 a.m. The presidency is over. Period. It doesn't matter what happens. It's over. The Secret Service will usher out, will make a changing of the guard if there is one, or the current president will stay installed. But it will be over as of that day. And that's by statute, by law, and it can't be changed.
All right, that's a response to Trump saying that he might not go peacefully if he loses the election. Is that what that was?
He's gonna go peacefully into that good night. He can rage against the dying of the light. I just need the dude to leave. And so if you get engaged, talk is cheap, like President Obama said. You don't cry about it, don't whine about it, vote.
Hey, appreciate the flows, Kev.
Thanks, sir.
As always, it's Kev on the sale, man. We shall see. It's going to be quite interesting, this debate. Everybody's going to be watching. It's going to be must-see TV. We want to see the clash of political titans, the Republican candidate versus the Democrat candidate. Now, if we were really winning, if we had a real healthy, if we really had a healthy democracy, then there'd be a third party candidate or two on the stage as well. And again, just keep this in mind as you're watching these presidential debates. The Democrats and Republicans, they might disagree on a lot of stuff, but there's one thing that they agree on. They both conspire to push down the ability of a third party candidate to rise. They both agree on that. They might disagree on Obamacare. They might disagree on gun control. They might disagree on vouchers. They might disagree on police reform. But when it comes to making sure that a third party candidate never challenges the supremacy of the Democrats and Republicans, they 100% on that. They 100% on that one. And that's why you don't see a third party candidate, because they make the threshold so high that it's nearly impossible. And for us to have a healthy, functioning democracy in these days and times, we need more choices. We need more choices than just the Democrats and Republicans. Can I get an amen on that one? I think we can all agree on that. Black, white, Democrat, Republican, we need more choices running for president. And then having a third party candidate would challenge both of the two party candidates, viewpoint on a lot of big issues. They don't want that there. They don't want that. That's why you don't see it. Hey, good morning, family. Please like and share today's show. If you like this content, please like and share today's show. If you like and support the idea of independent Black media in the city of Cincinnati and beyond, please like and share today's show. And also consider going to nathanivey.com, click on the support tab, and supporting this show and this platform with a donation, or perhaps become a patron. If you're a patron, check your patron feed. I'm posting. Check your feed. And depending on your tier level, you may not have access to everything that's being posted. So just go to my website, nathanivey.com, click on support, and then go to Patreon. It'll take you to my Patreon page, and you can decide for yourself. Do you want to join the mission? I've been saying for years, one man, one microphone, one mission. My mission is amplifying Black voices, amplifying independent Black voices. That's my mission, period. To which I'm happy to tell you that next week there are two more shows. Not one, but two more shows that'll start live streaming with Sin Digital Media. And I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. So make sure you listen to tomorrow's show. And I will reveal and unveil two of the new shows we'll be working with here in the city of Cincinnati. I 100% believe in the power of Black voices. There's so much talent in the greater Cincinnati area. And we're just getting started. We are just getting started. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts this morning. Let me jump back into my Facebook fam, my YouTube fam. Samantha's on YouTube. She writes, good morning. Deshauna writes, good morning, Nathan, everyone. Don't let no one steal your joy. I know that's right. Coach Pam, certified health and wellness coach. I see you, Coach Pam, doing your thing. I love it. She writes, good morning. We need to get on 45's tax plan. I know. Well, 45, a.k.a. Donald Trump, the 45th president, it was revealed by the New York Times that he's paying very little in federal taxes. In fact, they're saying that the year he ran for president and the first year he was president, he only paid $750 in federal taxes. Now, it looks like he did it legally, which I think is commentary about how the tax code is really set against most Americans. Like, you hear wealthy people and corporate types talking about the taxes. Well, not now, right? When Trump got in office, that was the number one priority. Not delivering high quality health care for you or balancing the scales for you in your life, but making sure that rich people, uber rich people, right? $1 million a year and over people and big corporate types, that they got to keep more of their money. Yeah, that's what helps make sure we have a thriving and healthy infrastructure. Yeah, perfect. And it looks like by all accounts, he may have done it legally. Now, Donald Trump is saying it's fake news, but when Donald Trump says something is fake news, that means it's true. We've learned that about him. Whenever he says that's fake news, it's true. And every once in a while, somebody in the media will make a mistake or not cross a T or dot an I. And then that becomes more fodder for his claims that the media is unfair, right? I was on Black Voices for Trump. There was a black dude, the guy that Drop brought up earlier, who put up a YouTube channel talking about, this is a black man talking about, well, if something's good for Trump, the media is never going to report it. The media put him in office. Trump got tens of millions of dollars of free ad press because the media was so starved for ratings that they was following around him when he was running for president, giving him free press, bringing him on television shows. He was all over CNN. He was doing all the shows. But as soon as he gets in office and they start to fact check him, all of a sudden they're the enemy of the state and they don't do anything but report negative stuff. He wouldn't be in office if not for the mainstream press. He wouldn't be in office if not for Morning Joe and Joe Scarborough. But when he gets in office and they realize he's a psycho, all of a sudden they start, we made a mistake here. We better start doing our jobs and start reporting and analyzing. He wants to turn them into an enemy because they're no longer convenient. I see right through Donald Trump. I see right through Donald Trump. You should too. It's real easy. Kendall writes, good morning. Yeah. Not only that, but it's being reported. I have not looked at documents myself. I've seen a couple of videos in which people have talked about it. So I want to add that caveat. I've not seen the documents with my own eyes. And until I do, I always want to preface it that way. What's being reported is that Donald Trump squandered tens of millions of dollars that he inherited. And I believe it. I believe it. Like Donald Trump's one of the few men in American history that lost money on a casino. How do you lose money on a casino? But just looking at the way that he runs the country, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that he would probably be a poor businessman because he makes emotional, ego-driven decisions. You know, when it's all about me, I, do it right now, greed, what I want, you're not going to make the best business decisions. I can see that. I'm not surprised to see that one bit. That's part of the reason why Donald Trump doesn't want his tax returns to come out, because he's a con artist. You know, running around acting like he's some kind of bazillionaire, and he's not really. In fact, if you believe what's being reported, a lot of his properties were losing money until he became president. I ain't surprised. I mean, just looking at the way he runs the country, I can only imagine how he ran his company. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't make money on real estate? You don't have to be a big time bazillionaire to make money on real estate. I mean, it sells itself. Yeah, he was a con artist in chief. Hey, good morning to you, Kendall. Your props to little Buddha this morning because she just got her first. And again, we don't make a big deal out of this because we are a results-oriented family. It's about the results. You know, midterm is cool and all, you know, you're in the right direction. But daddy responds to results, boo. So she showed us, she got her midterm grades and she did excellent across the board, every class, excellent. No exaggeration. And I'm very happy for her. It's great. But her mother and I share a similar viewpoint. These are midterms. We don't post midterms. We post finals. So I think that it's a great way to motivate her. And she's working hard in virtual learning right now. She's doing her job. She's turning in all of her assignments. I mean, from her grades, I can see she's done everything she's been asked for excellently. She is superlative. I love that. But you got the rest of the week. You got the rest of the quarter, boo. So let's not slack. Let's not slack. You know, you're not at the finish line yet. You're at the halfway mark. Right now, you're ahead of the pack. I keep telling you, you're competing. It may not come across that way, but you're competing with the people in your classroom. Run through the finish line at top speed. That's what she's been taught to do. Now, will she do that? She tries. I'll give her props. She is way smarter than me. Oh my gosh, she way smarter than me when I was her age. Way more focused. She is 100%. It's incalculable how much better of a student she was. I was unfocused. I was on some dumbish running around, skipping school in the 11th grade. I took the whole 11th grade off. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I was a late bloomer in terms of really focusing. She got it right now. I love it. So I know that she's watching right now. Daddy is very proud of you, but you're only halfway there, boo. Finish strong. You know how we do. Finish strong. Carmelita writes, good morning. Carmelita writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Good morning to you. Crystal's in the house. She writes, good morning. Hey, it's good to see everybody. Deborah writes, good morning. Good morning. Deshauna writes, yes, we all need to get on his plan. He pays $700 in taxes. Please, LOL. I'll be owing more than that. Right. The tax code is set up to be unfair. It is what it is. That's the reason why. Let me finish a point here. So as I was saying earlier, and I got distracted, but you used to hear all these rich types talking about the tax code. Tax code is so big. Well, unless you're got multiple businesses and corporations and making a lot of money, it might be 300-400 pages, but only at the most, 10 really apply to you. All those other pages were designed for rich people to find loopholes to get out of paying their taxes. You know what I'm saying? For average Joes, I'm an average Joe. You know, my taxes become more complicated now, but I mean, I'm an average Joe, not to that level at all, but average Joes, you got a few pages here or there. That's out. You out. You ain't got a whole lot. That's for the rich folks and the corporate types to try to figure out, new ways to hide their money and conceal their wealth and to put it in here and put it there so they don't have to pay income taxes on it or federal taxes on it. So we'll see. So I'm not surprised to see it. From what I understand, if he only pays $750 in taxes, federal taxes, he did it legally. Again, I think it's more commentary on the way that rich people play the system more than anything else. And then Trump is he's not an average Joe. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a Joe Biden. I'm not trying to sing Joe Biden's superlatives or graces, but his praises. But from what I understand, Joe Biden came up blue collar for real. Trump is a silver spooner, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, never worked a day in his life, inherited tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, squandered it. Like, how do you squander $100 million? I don't get it. Brenda Rice, good morning. Alicia Rice, good morning. Nathan and Choppers from the Gym City. Hey, good to see you. Yay, the Bengals didn't lose. Crystal Rice, good morning. Michael Rice, LOL, they lost and won. Good riddance. Breonna Rice, Breonna was involved in the drug scene. Yes, she was evil. Well, I can tell that this is probably a troll account. Just look at the name of it. Good riddance, Breonna. If you're trying to get some kind of response out of me, it's not going to happen. Although I will respond to you and give you what you're looking for. I think that what you're saying is ignorant. And really, I mean, I'm wondering, is this an adult or a child? Like, if you're a teenager and you're just kind of playing games because you got a new YouTube profile, I'll give you a little bit of slack and latitude. If this is a grown person playing games, then, I don't really have a lot of respect for it. But let's look at what the substance of what you had to say. You said Breonna was involved in the drug scene. Yes, she was evil. So what you're telling me is that if you're involved in drugs, you're evil. So does that mean that your pharmacist is evil? Like when you go to CVS or Kroger or Walmart or wherever you get your drugs, is the pharmacist evil? Because I don't think a pharmacist is necessarily evil. What's the difference? Well, the only difference is that pharmacists, they sell, peddle, disperse legal drugs. Drug dealers, as we call them, street level, are selling illegal drugs. I'll say it again. What makes these drugs so evil is the fact that they're illegal. Because when they're illegal, they're not regulated by the government the way alcohol was. The reason why when you go buy alcohol, it's a relatively safe transaction and that you have relative peace of mind that there's not going to be some poisons in it is because it's regulated. It's regulated because it's legal. You don't have to go in some back alley and get your Jack Daniels. You don't have to go into a back alley and get that case of Bud that you like to consume when you watch the Bengals game. You just go to the grocery store and you do it civilized. If you can buy street level illegal narcotics in that same manner, it would stop being such a dangerous transaction. You would have to go into some back alley or trap house or deal with dope dealers in bad neighborhoods because you can get it from your pharmaceutical, you can get it from your drugstore. So, I mean, if we're going to have this idea that drugs are legal, we got to look at, are evil, we got to look at it across the board. I personally don't think that drug dealing is necessarily evil. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's necessarily evil. I think that, there's always going to be underground economies for people to sell things that they can't buy in a more civilized or public manner, period. I think that if you have a dope dealer that puts poisons into drugs that they're giving the people that's buying it, I think that's evil. I think that's evil. But if you got addicts and they want to get drugs and you provide it to them, I think you're providing a service on level, just like your local pharmacist. You have people, millions of people who are doped up on legal drugs. They got to have it. And I ain't talking about heart medicine. I'm talking about stuff that make you feel good for everyday maladies, right? Feel good drugs. I ain't talking about the stuff that you need to keep your heart going and your lungs going or your blood pressure down. Even though we can make an argument about that as well. They'll sell you drugs rather than sell you healthy alternatives, right? But I disagree with that completely. And again, where is the evidence that she was involved in the drug scene? And even if she was involved in the drug scene, GRB, I'll just reduce that nonsense down to her acronym, GRB. Even if she was involved, I would say that the police still don't have a right to do that. It's ridiculous. Some people are completely brain dead. They are part of the problem. Cleopatra Jones writes, Rise and Shine, Nathan Ivey and the Choppers, good morning to you. Sandra's in the house. She writes, good morning to you. Sean writes, good morning, people. Hey, good morning, Sean. Anthony writes, morning, Chop Shop. Sandra writes, good morning, everybody. Brandy writes, good morning. She's on YouTube. Letty writes, I agree, Nathan. Good morning, Brother Choppers. I am a huge fan of LeBron James inside and outside the court. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than basketball for me. I don't give a damn about no damn basketball. I don't care about none of these sports because I'm not getting no money. If I ain't getting no money, I don't care about it. I'm just be honest with you. It don't really mean a whole lot to me. The reason why I started supporting of LeBron James is I noticed that he was getting so much hate. And I love to support the underdogs, man. I love the underdogs. You know what I'm saying? You show me an underdog, I'm going to get with him. I'm an underdog myself. You know what I'm saying? So I love the underdog. That's why I started thinking, like, let me look more into it. In terms of basketball, he has done things that I'm not going to say they'll never be done again, but he's really set some high marks. Like I said, only one team in NBA history, and this is a special kind of greatness, right? Like, I'll give it to you. You know, you can steamroll your way through the playoffs and then win an NBA championship in 4 or 5 games. That's a certain type of NBA dominance. But when you get down 1-3 against a team of the ages, the way the Cleveland Cavaliers did back in, what was that, 2017 with LeBron James against the Golden State Warriors, down 1-3 on the brink of elimination, you got to win every single game, 3 games straight to win, and you do it. Come on, man. That's special, right? That's like anybody would tell you that it's harder to come from behind than to stay ahead. Especially you was already in front. I'm just saying. And now at the age of 35, almost 36, you see this man out there balling with these young bucks, getting 39 points. What does he have, like 38 points, 15 rebounds? I mean, just something absurd. I'm like, it's just absurd, you know, the stat line. You still doing it? 17 years in the NBA, you know, seasons. 10 of them, you go to the finals? I'm like, every year you're going back to the finals? It's just amazing. It really is. And like I said, nobody's saying, oh, the East is so weak now. When LeBron James was in the East, oh, the commentary was the East was so weak. Nobody says that now. Like, nobody's going to say it about the Miami Heat getting through the East as the 5 seed. Nobody's going to say, oh, the East is weak. They be coming up with whole new narratives. Like, LeBron James has made the career of Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is making $10 million a year talking sports. And how he made his name was criticizing LeBron James. I mean, that just goes to show you. So you got to give props where props is due, man. Props is due. Her boyfriend shot at the police. That's why Breonna died. Well, I mean, that's certainly a factor in it. GRB, that's certainly a factor in it. And just think about this. The boyfriend fired 1 shot, right? He fired 1 round. The police fired, 16, 17 rounds? Why? I heard Donnie B talk about that on the show. I read it again from this I put the article in the link in the article, the link to the article in today's message. So you can check it out for yourself. It's a very interesting article in the Louisville Courier, the Courier General. I'm still mispronouncing the Courier Journal is what it's saying. Written by Andrew Wolfson. the very troubling questions A.G. Cameron isn't answering on the Breonna Taylor decision. And one of them is, why weren't they charged with killing and endangering the life of Breonna Taylor? I don't get it. She didn't fire a gun. So what you're telling me, RBG, is that if you're standing right next to somebody that shoots a weapon, if the police kill you, it was justified. They're trying to shoot them, but they shoot you. Because instead of identifying exactly where it was coming from, they just decided to start firing shots inside the home. And you telling me that's justified. Okay. All right. Your life doesn't mean a whole lot to you, brother. Other people feel differently. Charles Wright's Grand Rising's name the choppers, man. That that avatar is hilarious. Dale writes, good morning. Sean writes, we need to start a Back to Africa movement. Racism in the United States is not going anywhere. We are the only ethnic group that was brought to this nation against our will. Only for like-minded people, he writes. I'm with that. If you want to leave the country and start an enclave, I know they've done that in Cuba and other places around the world. I'm with it. I respect it. Hey, Trumpsters are thinking about doing the same thing. I came across the video from TYT over the weekend, and they went to a Trump rally, and they asked people like, you know, what if Donald Trump loses? You should have saw their faces. They was like, as if they couldn't even comprehend it. And several of the respondents said that they have contemplated and or would. They talked to one white couple, right? They look like a straight Karen and Darren. I hate to be so ad hominem with it, but that's what they look like to me. They were like, well, we already made our plans. If Joe Biden wins, we're moving to Panama. Yeah, they want to move south of the border. I don't know what it is. We're going to move to Panama. So somewhere out there, this is like some big thing for white Trumpsters to move to Panama, right? I don't know why they chose Panama. Maybe it's because, you know, non-citizens can own weapons, firearms in Panama. I guess that's what it is. But somewhere out there in the ether of the internet, there's this plan for Trumpsters to move to Panama if in fact Donald Trump loses. Wait a minute, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. You got to see this or hear it. It's worth your time. Trust me, it's worth your time this morning. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not even sure where the hell it is. Let me see if I can find it here. I might have it here. You got to hear it to believe it. It's quite interesting.
Accept the result if Joe Biden wins?
No.
Check this out.
Under any circumstance?
No.
Why is that?
Because it's lies and deceit and corruption.
I'll be down on my knees praying a lot harder.
Praying for Joe Biden's success or praying for 4 years from now replacing Joe Biden?
Praying for God to help us.
President Biden, that can't happen. I can't even think about that because he does not like America. He's a racist. Now, that's a racist. If you want to look at someone who despises the black man, the black woman, he looks out for himself. He's a crook. His son is a crook. He's a criminal.
What happens if Donald Trump loses? Do you have a fear for the country if Donald Trump? You're nodding your head. I'll go. Okay, you can. I'll ask both of you.
We actually have plans to move to Panama because it's a city or it's a country that allows Americans to move there and to actually own firearms there. I mean, if they trust us enough to own firearms as, you know, people with legal right to be in their country, you know, it seems like a place that's not planning to do something terrible.
I told you, I ain't making it up. Like, these Trumpsters are thinking about moving to Panama. And I say, let them. Let them. You know what I'm saying? Good riddance. You know what I'm saying? If you want to move to Panama, if Joe Biden wins, God bless you in your journey. Leave. More clean water, food, and air for the rest of us.
To their people.
But if he wins, it means the Democratic machine has won in some of the illegal tactics that, the voter fraud. I think that if he loses, they
what
come out.
Voter fraud is he talking about? What voter fraud? It's very serious, though, my family. Very serious, because it just goes to show you how seemingly intelligent people can be misled with propaganda. That's it. And something tells me that the way that Trump got hold of them was not convincing them of something that they don't believe in. They probably held on to these beliefs about the Democrat Party way before Trump. He just pushes them in the same direction they're already leaning, straight off a cliff.
For all of us supporters.
I've actually considered leaving the country, moving to South America or something like that, if something like that happens. I've had neighbors
like the Nazis did.
Moved when Hillary was running against President Trump because he was convinced Hillary was going to win. He sold everything and moved to Panama. So I'm thinking, my ancestors
moved to Argentina like the Nazis
back in the 1900s when they left Germany. So
I would hurt for my grandchildren. I'm in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter of life for me, and can't much happen to me in the meantime, but I hurt for my grandchildren and the people of America's children and grandchildren.
If in another world Joe Biden was to win, he'd be my president. Now, he wouldn't be the president, or he'd be the president. Let me correct that. Make sure you edit that. But he would not be the president that I chose, and but you have to live with it.
Joe Biden becomes president. What does that mean for you?
World's going to hell in a handbasket. I'm sorry. The man is sad because they are propping him up. If you notice any of his speech or whatever, he can't even complete a sentence. And I'm sorry, his mind is starting to fade.
I'll accept the result. However, I don't think he's capable. I think, quite honestly, he's too mentally far gone. Any of the other candidates on the Democrat side, I don't know if they'd do a better job, but they definitely would be more mentally capable than him, which is just an unfortunate scenario.
I think it'll be devastating for the country because we'll start turning towards what their plan was when Clinton wanted to continue what Obama did. And thank God Trump came and stopped all that. But if Biden comes in, they're just going to go right back to that, and it's going to do the whole new world order thing. I mean, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah. I think if somehow they rig the system and he wins, then I think that it'll make me more passionate about politics, and definitely it will inspire me to keep being politically active.
I love the music they play, like this Twilight Zone music. Like it was a portal into some kind of dimension, some other world dimension. Hilarious. But, they mean it. I love them some Trump. Said he going to Panama. Is it like a travel agency or something out there that's promoting this? Like, is it like a package you get? You can get like your gun permit and move from the United States to Panama and then like live in like a little pro-Trump enclave. Why not Argentina? That's what the Nazis did after World War II. They ran the ones that didn't come to the United States and work with NASA, right? The Nazis that didn't come to the United States and, live in nice little neighborhoods and get paid by American taxpayers to build the United States space program with NASA, right? Ran down to Argentina and created these little pro-Nazi universes down there. Some people said that the Fuhrer, Adolf Hitler himself, made it down there. I don't know. This stuff is just, the fodder for late night television. Way too much time on my hands, but it is what it is. Lady writes, I have no doubt in my mind AG Daniel Cameron presented some lies. Well, he don't even have to present lies, I understand it. All he has to do is just not present all of the evidence and present it and just tailor make and only allow the grand jury to see and to think only what he wants. That's the reason why he won't release it. They asked him to tell, will you release the racial makeup of the grand jury? Nope, won't do it. Why? He doesn't want you to know. Why would you hide this? Well, he's hiding it because he can. And he's hiding it because it probably is not something that's flattering. It's probably something that'll be more controversial. So he's like, you know what? I'm just not going to let you know because it's going to open me up for more questions. So why do it? So I see a lot of people calling his brother a coon and all this kind of stuff. I don't like to use a C word like that. Oh, we just had a call on the line. I was coming straight to you. Call me right back. I think it was Black Russia. Call me right back, Black Russia. I'll put you straight on. All right. Coach Pam writes, how about ending high-speed chases over stolen cars, etc., and putting innocent people in harm's way. I'm with you on that. Let's go straight to the phones and say good morning. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
Hey, Black Russia, good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Yep.
All right. Hey, listen, the clips that you were just playing are very telling. They're very telling. I think people need to understand those folks are going to vote. What are we going to do? I think that's the question that everybody needs to be able to answer.
Facts.
You know, I've seen people. These people are stupid. Like I see Warren County talking about these people are stupid as ass, and I'm thinking like, okay, you can call them whatever name you want to call them. They voting. They're smart dumb cats ain't voting. So like instead of talking bad about these, you know, white folks who got their own mind made up about what they want their country to look like, why don't you get out here and start talking to these smart dumb cats about voting instead of attacking these people? See, that's what liberals, that's what they screw up at. You attacking folks who's going to go vote instead of trying to turn out your people. And I just think it's backwards again. It's a microcosm of why Democrats be losing. They just instantly write these people off right here. And I'm just saying, Joe Biden better not be watching any polls. If I'm him, honestly, I'm telling him don't watch any polls because you don't know what's going to happen. Because these folks right here, these Trump zombies, they voting.
Right.
They voting.
That's a good
you know
way
what I'm saying?
it.
Now look,
Trump
I voted for Trump in 2016. They Trump zombies. I voted for Trump in 2016.
I remember
tell people that. I ain't got no problem saying that. But this time around, I'm not going to vote for him because, hey, I have no use for Donald Trump anymore. He got me 3 Supreme Court justices that are conservative. And I bet a lot of Republicans undercover are saying that.
Is that
to
important to
themselves.
you?
They're going to say it out public.
Is that important to you personally?
Yeah, personally, me. Yeah. I'm thinking for myself totally.
Wow.
I do like my courts conservative.
Wow.
I think you got a better shot. The reason I like them conservative is because if you stick to the letter of the law and you got the law on your side, most of the time you're gonna win with them.
That's a misnomer.
Because, you got a better shot of liberals creating law than you got conservatives doing.
That's a misnomer.
So if you got the facts on your side, you're probably gonna win with them justice.
I think that's a
usually how
misnomer,
it
though.
works.
I got to challenge you on that. Just because you are so-called conservative judge, Supreme Court judge, doesn't mean you're going to go by the letter of the law or something like that. That's what they want us to believe, but I'm not really sure that's true.
Well, enlighten me. Let's talk about it. I think it's a good conversation to have because I think that from what I've read, and I like to think I'm well read to a degree. The originalist version of a lot of stuff. I ain't saying everything, but most of the things that are originalist, you got the law on your side, you're going to win most of the time. Now, you want to challenge me on that? That's cool. I'm saying, like, help me out and challenge me on it. I want to hear some examples of when conservatives just like straight lacing stuff up on the court.
Well, I don't have any examples. I'm just saying that in general, I just challenge the idea that just because you're a so-called conservative judge doesn't mean that you necessarily aren't going to be actively reinterpreting laws case by case by case. You know what I'm saying? What does that even mean to be a conservative judge? I think if we're going to have this conversation, cool. I mean, I'll share as much as I can with the limited research that I have available to me in this moment. But I would start right here with when you say you like conservative judges, can you further define that? Because I think that can mean a couple different things to different people.
Okay. For me, this is my personal viewpoint. I like conservative judges for the simple fact that they're going to.
You breaking up, brother?
I'm driving too.
Okay.
Am I still breaking up? I'm on the move. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds terrible now.
Because, I'm driving through Avondale. I'm sorry. Because you're more likely to predict the outcome of the case. Now,
you breaking up, brother. I say, well, hang up and call me right back, man.
Do that.
Yeah, Harry gonna call me right back. He's gonna call back. We're gonna have this conversation. Yeah, I mean, so let me just fill in the blanks of what comes out of my head. Like when somebody says, I like conservative Supreme Court justices, what makes them conservative is my question. Like if you're on the religious right, you would deem somebody conservative based upon what, a few big type issues, like a woman's right to choose abortion. Like that's been looked at as, an issue that'll decide whether somebody is conservative or liberal. Like typically people will look at a judge, Supreme Court judge that's pro-life as being conservative. Right? And pro-rights as being more liberal. So let's talk about black folks. Let's talk about the Obamacare. Let's talk about ACA. So if you're a conservative judge as it relates to Obamacare, does that mean you're against it? And if you're a liberal judge, you're for it? What does that mean in terms of, restricting the rights, not restricting the rights, but what does that mean in terms of police reforms? If you're a conservative Supreme Court justice, does that mean that you're someone who believes that the police should have broad powers to stop you, surveil you, detain you? If you're a liberal, does that mean that you believe in police reforms, but you should restrict some of those rights on a case-by-case basis? So that's what I'm trying to get at. But Black Russia's back on the line. Hey, good morning, Black Russia. Welcome back.
Good morning. And I thought of an example, too. So, there was an example that I read where the police were investigating the gentleman, and they put a GPS tracker on the car without a warrant. The conservative court said you can't do that. You have to get a warrant. Because guess what? That is the law. The United States Code says you have to get a warrant if you're going to do a search. Now, in terms of creating law, if there's no law on the books and it's silent, then what's going to end up happening is usually the courts kick it back down either to the lower court or they just don't, or they rule for the other side because there's no clear rules. Because they're not going to make up the rules. They're going to say the legislature failed to speak on this, therefore we can't hold this person accountable. Because you leave it open and there's nothing to fill it in. How can you hold that against somebody? A lot of times, and this is based on my reading, the originalists, the conservatives, stick to the letter of the law. It's like a lot of times that I've read when the law is void or the legislature didn't speak on it, a lot of the more liberal justices, they like to create the law at that point in time. Like they want to fill in what the legislature should have did. Well, that ain't their job.
Like when?
I have to give it to you as far as the example. The first example that came to mind was the GPS example in terms of the police tracking somebody without a warrant. And there was no law saying they could do that. They said they had to get a warrant, and the originalists stuck to it because they've been the majority on the court for a while now.
Okay.
So I'll get back to you on another example because I think it's interesting for people to think about. Because Trump's going to be in charge for the next 30 years on the courts, even after he's dead and gone.
True. You're right about that.
So people need to be understanding how these judges, what the philosophy of these judges are.
So
that'll inform a lot of stuff.
Let me ask you about something else that's probably more relevant to us in Cincinnati, and it's a hot topic right now. And it's kind of in the same space of what we're talking about here.
Okay.
And again, I'll give you space to talk about whatever else you want to bring up before on your phone call. But what do you think about Chris Silbach's motion to ban no-knock warrants here in the city of Cincinnati?
I think that Chris Silbach's intentions are good with this one, but I'm more of a person that like the city shouldn't be involved in doing that type of stuff. Like that should be the state legislature doing that because they're writing the ORC. Now, when we start getting to the crevices of Cincinnati, and we're going to say we're going to ban no-knock warrants in Cincinnati, we'll think about it like this: who they got to go to get these warrants? They got to go to judges, right? Magistrates. These folks are working for Hamilton County. They're on a global scale, so they got to be specific. Like we're going to do no-knock warrants for Cincinnati only, but then Norwood and all these other places, we got to make sure that if they want to do a no-knock, which are rare anyway, they don't really do a whole lot. I read the article. I think they only did like maybe two times, like in the last year or something, they did 2 no-knocks. So it's like trying to solve voter fraud to me. Like everybody is saying there's no voter fraud, but they want to get on Republicans for trying to write rules pertaining to voter fraud. I think Chris Silver's doing something like that here. He's trying to deal with the issue that it really ain't an issue here in Cincinnati. So that's why I prefer like the state to like make it for everybody in the entire state. If we're not going to do no-knock warrants, let's let the legislators, the state representatives, and the state senators and the governor, let's let them handle that. In Cincinnati, let's not grandstand. I kind of feel like that's what this is.
Okay,
because you really can't do. I think it's unworkable for these judges and magistrates. Like let the state take care of that. They write the ORC. They're dealing with the Ohio Constitution. We're going to write legislation in the city of Cincinnati say we're going to ban no knocks when we only do 2 a year. Come on, Chris Silver. We got more important stuff to do. You need to be trying to figure out how to pay for that damn streetcar. Instead of writing legislation that happens twice a year. I'm sorry?
You're saying so that's more important than potentially, preventing someone, an innocent person like Breonna Taylor being killed. So you're saying talking about the streetcar is more important than people's lives.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I want to make sure I'm very clear about what I'm saying. From what I've read, Cincinnati Police Department only did 2 no-knocks last year.
Right.
It's like you got voter fraud. I'm drawing an analogy here. It's like you got voter fraud. You may have 2 people commit voter fraud a year. Republicans get killed every day talking about some voter fraud when there's no voter fraud. Well, if you look at it like this, there's no-knock warrants in Cincinnati. 2 a year, we don't even do them. He's trying to solve a problem that we don't have, is what I'm saying.
And isn't that what he should be doing,
grandstanding.
I mean, again, I disagree with you. I mean, I think there were some elements of what you had to say that rang true to me, or it was fact-based, or there could be something there for further review. But in general, I would say, this is just my opinion, but I would just say, this is why you were elected. Part of leadership is looking down the long hallway and trying to prevent problems before they become problems. So I don't think that Cincinnati should wait until we have a Breonna Taylor situation to say we should end no-knock warrants. If we see in Louisville that they're problematic and can lead to innocent people's lives being lost, let's be real here, man. Breonna Taylor was just the only one to die. Other people could have died. There were other people that were endangered. And if that's in any way, what can come from a no-knock warrant because it's so dangerous, and if we only having 2 per year, they can't be that important. So why not ban all of them? If we only doing 2 per year, they can't be that important. Let's ban them, because human life, preserving life, is more important than giving police officers one more tool that they only use rarely.
I think, again, I hear what you're saying. If anybody tragically loses their life, that's one life too many. I hear you. But I go back to Chris Silver's trying to solve a problem that we don't have.
And that's what he should
be
doing.
We don't have this problem.
And that's what he should be doing. We don't want this problem, though, Black Russia.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
You disagree that we want the problem that Louisville is dealing with? We got the same number of no-knock warrants of people that ride the streetcar. We got the same number of no-knock warrants that ride the streetcar on a daily basis. He had to fix that streetcar. That's been a problem for years now. I mean, that's been a problem for I don't know how the streetcar even got brought up into this conversation, but I disagree with you strongly. You keep trying to make the argument that this is a minor issue. You're saying that, and you said it twice, this is a problem that we don't have. That's the point. We don't want a Breonna Taylor situation here. We don't want that problem. That's the whole point. That's what leadership should be doing, preventing tragedy before it happens.
My thinking about leadership is you got plenty of problems in front of you. Solve the problems in front of you. That streetcar is a tragedy.
You keep talking about the streetcar. The streetcar does not compare to a human life. There's no comparison.
It's sucking resources from the city. It is important. It is that important. And I'll bring it back to that because he's out here trying to solve a problem we don't have. We've had a streetcar problem for the last 8 years. He's one of the main people that pushed it. But it's like he ain't solving that problem.
You changing the conversation.
No, I'm not changing the conversation.
You are
this
changing
is about
the conversation.
You're talking about leadership, forward thinking, all that. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're bringing up a whole other issue that has no impact on what we're talking about.
That they don't do that. Because we're talking about priorities in the city of Cincinnati. That's what I said. That's our problem in Cincinnati is a streetcar.
Well, then one day
this
week
is
we
not
can
a
talk
problem
about
in
the
Cincinnati
streetcar.
today.
Right now, we're talking about the no-knock warrant. Idea that Chris Silbach has put out there. City council deals with multiple issues. They don't just deal with one. They deal with multiple ordinances, multiple policies, multiple things, all within one session over multiple sessions. They don't just deal with one thing at a time. So we can talk about the streetcar, but right now we're talking about, do you agree with Silbach and his idea to end no-knock warrants? I think it's a good idea.
In theory, it sounds good. But from my perspective, it's a problem we don't have. We do 2 no-knock warrants a year. And how about this? How about he send it to the law and public safety and get a hearing on that? Instead of, that's what these Democrats try to do. They try to skirt the process. They don't want people to really vet it. You know what I'm saying? Especially criminal justice issues. Why don't we vet it law and public safety and see if this is something that we need to do?
Okay.
I challenge Chris about to do that. Just don't pass it. I know you got the votes to just pass whatever you want down to the Democrats, but why don't you, if it's such a good idea, put it up to a hearing and let it get scrutinized?
I think that's what's going to happen next. They're going to hold public hearings on it, and we'll see what happens.
And what committee though? I mean, I'm concerned about the committee.
It'll be a city council committee, I'm sure. Isn't that what really matters?
No, it does matter what committee it's in. To me, it matters what committee it's in. You're going to send a no-knock warrant, a criminal justice issue to like economic, growth, or you're going to send it to like transportation, or you're going to send it to law and public safety.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Send it to law and public safety.
From what I'm reading,
sit on law and public safety.
From what I'm reading in Cincinnati.com, the Inquirer, this was posted yesterday, that the motion is set to come before the Law and Public Safety Committee. It was set to come before it tomorrow, but they're going to be delaying it for 2 weeks because they're going to have a lengthy discussion on the collaborative agreement. So it sounds like you're going to get your wish. It's going to come before Christopher Smitherman's Law and Public Safety Committee.
Right, after he deals with some more pressing issues like the collaborative agreement. Because if it was that pressing, Nathan Ivey, I guarantee there's no-knock warrant stuff, which you do twice a year, will shoot to the top of the list, and it would be more important than the collaborative agreement. Well, but it ain't that.
You're welcome to your opinion, but I mean, I don't know how they schedule and what the rules are, and if that's what you want to read into it, cool. But it sounds like you're going to get your wish. In 2 weeks, it's going to go before public committee review. So we'll talk about it more then.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. I'll be interested to see if it gets out of committee.
Yeah, me too.
That would be very interesting. Because I know Chris Silbach and a lot of his cohorts don't sit on there. I know it's Jan Michelle, Pastor, Sunderman, and Smitherman. So they're going to need a majority to get that up out of committee. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. And if it doesn't, then those will be the people that we can blame.
Yeah. Have at it. If they don't get it out of committee, have at it. But it depends on what comes out of the bill, though. I mean, if the bill is just like some ish, which I think it is, I just think, you're looking for a problem that ain't there. So, okay, I think that's going to come out in the committee, too. They're going to do the stats and see we do 2 a year. And, why are we trying to legislate something that we only do twice a year? That's what I think. That's my prediction, but I'm going to watch the hearing and see if it open mind.
We shall see. All right. Anything else?
Look like the Lakers are going to win the title.
It ain't, again, man, anything can happen. One twisted ankle, anything can happen. So, it's not over till it's over.
They playing Game 6 tonight?
Say what now?
They play Game 6 tonight, Miami and Boston, or is that already over?
That's already over. They ended yesterday. Miami's in the finals.
Oh, well, let's talk about that for a hot second, just on a preview. This is compelling.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's compelling because this is LeBron's old team.
Yeah.
One of his old teams.
His old coach.
Old GM. Pat Riley got him to Miami. So it's like now, and remember, before LeBron got there, he hadn't won anything yet. These cats taught him how to win.
Right.
So now.
They hadn't won anything in Miami. Well, yeah, they did win one with D-Wade. You're right about that.
Well, he won back to back. He got back. It went 4 times. They only got the 2. They lost to Dallas and they lost to the Spurs one time. So he got back to back titles out of Wabash and Wade County yet. So he learned how to win down there. Now that helped him to where he's at today. Now I'm just curious to see if Spoelstra and Pat Riley can deconstruct LeBron James. Now they built him up to be this winner now because at first he wasn't no winner until he got there. Now can they beat them?
I think it's going to be very, like you said, very compelling. I can't wait to watch the clips because I probably won't watch it all live.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this final. I was hoping to see Boston and Lakers, or Clippers rather. But hey, I got the Lakers and Heat. I can deal with that because I think Jimmy Butler going crazy.
I can see him going. I like Jimmy Butler. I like him. I like the Miami Heat. I like their team. The young, scrappy team. Bam, Hero. I mean, what a great name for a sports entertainer. Your last name is Hero, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Right.
I still got LBJ, but I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. I'm probably going Lakers in 6.
And if LeBron wins, then people have to give him even more props. He's doing things that nobody else did. 3 championships, 3 different teams.
3 teams, yeah. He'll get a few more props for that for sure. He still gotta dig out of the hole. I mean, he'll be 4 and 6. He still got a hole to dig out of. He gets a 6 and 6. I can maybe look at LeBron a little differently. If he can win maybe 3 more titles, I can give him another look.
Well, if they win this year and AD re-ups, they got a great core moving forward in Los Angeles. They got a great core.
Oh, yeah, they got to pay. Whatever AD want, they got to pay him. He's going to be the finals MVP. Watch. I
can see that. I can see it. It's going to be a classic battle, man. It's going to be a lot of fun for people that like b-ball.
Yeah, people start asking questions about Brad Stevens too. Like, is he the guy in Boston? I got questions of Brad Stevens.
I never thought he was the guy in Boston. I think he was just a new white dude, head coach, to get a shot. I never seen anything that was all that whatever. You know, you can be the best coach in the world if you ain't got good players with good team unity. It means nothing.
Man, you ain't like him at Butler though.
So what now?
You ain't like him at Butler.
I didn't really pay attention to him at Butler. He didn't really hit my radar screen until he got to the NBA.
Oh man, at Butler. He was rolling back to back. They did back to back national title games. Yeah, they went to the title games twice back to back with Butler.
Did they win?
He made it happen. So that's why he got the gig. But
did they win in Butler
as a professional? Nah, they lost to Duke one time at the buzzer. I forget who else they lost to that year.
Yeah,
but they lost a grade A talent.
So he's almost close
in the national final.
He's almost did it, got close guy. Okay, but not a real winner. Okay, I get it.
Well, what's a mid-major team with Butler? The fact they got the national title game back to back, that I think that's a winner. From that particular university, you get the back-to-back titles. Yeah. I think you're a winner.
He got a regional championship trophy in his office, but no NCAA championship. Okay, I guess that means I'm a winner.
Yeah, national runner-up twice. But I don't know. I think they got to start looking for other guys in Boston. They might have to call Doc Rivers back or something.
I want to see Ty Lue get a shot. I want to see some new blood instead of the same old recycled faces.
Maybe Mark Jackson. I don't know.
Maybe Mark Jackson. Yeah, somebody new. Let one of these black coaches get a shot. They already got Steve Nash in Brooklyn, so let a black coach get a shot.
Well, the players usually pick the coach. I mean, if the black players want a black coach, especially the superstars, I'm sure they can have them.
Maybe. I think the owners pick the coach.
Well, KD and Kyrie was the one that pulled the trigger for Steve Nash.
Yeah, I mean, I think they rubber stamped it. From what I understand, he had a close relationship with the white male GM. And from what I saw the interview, he said, I just called him and said, hey, I want my hat put my name in the hat. And then after that, maybe Kyrie and KD came involved. But I think it was, he had the inside track. As most jobs are. Most people get them big jobs because they got an inside track, a great relationship with somebody that makes a decision. I mean, that's how it goes for black and white coaches, I'm sure. But
it's who you know.
Yeah,
almost 99% of the time.
Oh, for sure. So,
but we'll see what Brooklyn do. I'm not really hyped about Brooklyn. We'll see. I don't know, man. These coaches are trash.
All right, brother. Thank you for the call, man.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, most definitely. That's Black Russia. Yes, that's Black Russia. As we were talking, man, it just solidified an idea for a show that I was already thinking about. Also, tomorrow I'm going to reveal 2 new shows that you'll be able to watch on Sin Digital Media. These be weekly shows, one time a week. At least one of them is. The other's twice a week. That'll be powered by CDM, Sin Digital Media, as we continue our mission to amplify Black voices in the Cincinnati market and beyond. All right. One man, one microphone, one mission. I'm 100% focused on this mission. And make sure you listen tomorrow. I'll be revealing, 2 new shows that you'll hear within the next couple of weeks here on Facebook. You'll be able to watch them live. from the CDM page. Looking forward to it. Very, very excited. Let's go back to the phones and say good morning. This will be our last call. It's 10 a.m. I got to make a move. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Oh, you got to make a move? That's awful. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Brother IT, a.k.a. Fame, welcome.
Who is IT?
Isn't that you? Insatiable Trick, I think is what you're calling yourself or something like that inside the... I just say IT.
Insatiable Trick. I ain't say nothing about no IT.
I made it IT because I don't want to keep saying it over and over again. So that's why I say IT.
Why not?
I just choose not to.
Why not? That's my name. Please just... My name is my name.
Don't people go by acronyms all the time?
No.
Yes,
that's
they
childish.
Do. Wrong answer. Yes, they do.
You don't get to give me the street handle you want me to have.
No, I'm not. I'm respecting the handle that you came up with.
IT, that's corny.
It fits.
It does not. But we digress. Okay? Hey, what he was talking about, what the brother was talking about, didn't that happen here about that FBI agent trying to put that on somebody's car? Didn't that happen in Forest Park? And the dude came out bussing. Saw him by the car and started bussing.
I don't recall.
It was like a Latin guy.
I don't recall.
Oh yeah, because I remember the complex it had. I don't know if that. I know that happened. I don't know if it was that specific case he's referring to, but that happened in Forest Park because I remember because I knew somebody who lived in that apartment complex. FBI was trying to put a GPS on the dude's car up under it, and the guy was coming out as it was going on, and he started shooting.
Is that right?
And I forgot what happened with that. Yeah. But you asked, I'm just here to answer your question.
Thank you.
You asked who threw their political career away last night.
Yes. Yeah, you wrote that inside the Chop Shop.
Yes, it was your friend and notable lackey, Cam Hardy.
Lackey. Cam Hardy is not my lackey. I don't have any lackeys.
I said lackey.
Yeah, lackey. I don't have any lackeys.
No, not your lackey. PG's lackey.
I don't think he's PG's lackey. I don't know their
relationship. The white male establishment's
but...
lackey. He does the white man's bidding. I told you.
I got
he was Arnold Jackson. I told you way back when the kid was trash. He does very underhanded monkey shit.
Remember, the
and
kids are listening. That. Kids are listening, but okay. You did say that.
It's 10 a.m. These kids better be in school.
They don't have school today. They're off today, CPS.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, little children.
Because you are for the children, right? All middle for the children?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. But sometimes stuff had to be put in its proper context. And this is one of those times.
Yeah, but not the sacrifice of the children because you're for the children. So what did he say?
He called somebody the F word.
Oh, really? What was the context?
Yeah. You like men.
Who was he talking about?
I tagged you in the post on Twitter. It's on your Twitter.
Let me look at it right now. Who was he talking about?
I don't know. I don't know who the guy he was talking to was, but he called him the F word. That thing been sent around Twitter a million times by now. It's like, bro, it's over. I tried to warn you about the guy, but you wouldn't listen. All that little stuff he does,
Chris
that's
Brown
great.
Chris Brown is far more attractive than Drake. No homo, though. You are a straight homo, though. Who is he talking about? Said Khalifa
I don't know, but if you keep
9?
reading.
What are they talking about?
If
Chris
you
Brown
keep
and
reading, there's his fatal blow.
His fatal blow?
Yeah. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I forgive the pun. No problem on that. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. I just need more context. I mean, I don't know. People, this Twitter
what more context do you need to call somebody an F word? It's a slur.
But I don't see the F word. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it now. Just identifying it in my in his timeline. Okay. I mean, hey, he put it out there. He's going to have to deal with whatever consequences come from it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I just wanted to tell you, I warned you. You are immersed. It's been real, Nathan.
Are you claiming?
I had fun.
Are you claiming? It sounds like you're claiming victory on some levels, which slightly bothers me. I want to make sure.
Damn right I am. I told you about this dude.
Why are you claiming victory now?
Because I tried to tell you about that dude. And he called the police on me.
Right.
He had my Twitter taken down.
You were harassing
had to
him.
start another account because
you
of
showed
the
up
dude.
at his job,
He is
menacing
a
him
rat,
physically.
a snake, and now he's using and now he's using gay slurs.
Well, you don't really care about gay slurs because you was the same dude that said that Tom Brenneman shouldn't lose his job and that black people shouldn't get caught up with people using the F word. But now when it comes to Cam Hardy, we should cancel him because of it now? That's not consistent.
I'm sorry. When was I running for council? When did I announce
I don't
the
know.
candidacy?
You might run for council sometime in the future, but I'm just saying.
When did I
you
announce
said
I
that
was running for
Tom
candidate? I was running for council,
It was
Nathan.
no big deal about what Tom Brenneman said, and that black people should not really get caught up with the F word or any.
Are you going to answer the
slurs.
question?
Yeah, when I
Are
get
you
out what
gonna
I'm
answer
trying
the
to say, I
question?
mean, we both can't talk at the same time. So when I finish saying what I'm saying, yes, hopefully I'll answer your question, and if I don't, then just make sure you bring it up again. I'll make sure I answer it more directly. I'm just pointing out the contradiction. So when Tom Brenneman was on national television and used the F-bomb, and I and other people say he should lose his job, you said that black people shouldn't care about F-bombs and homophobic slurs because that's a gay agenda. But when Cam Hardy says it, you're saying we should use that to cancel him.
No, that's not.
Yes.
They don't equate.
They do
They
equate.
don't equate.
They do equate. People
God
using
damn, baby, can I get it out?
I'm just saying. People using homophobic slurs in public. And again, the children. Think about the children, but go right ahead.
Exactly. Now, first of all, when did I announce I was running for city council?
Irrelevant. And never.
Oh, okay. That's
you
your
never
answer to
did,
that question.
but
Okay. Thank
comma,
you.
that's
That's
irrelevant.
all. That's all. Never. That's all. That's all. No qualification. I understand that's your thing.
Yes, right. Clarification is my
thing. Secondly,
what?
Secondly, for us to get upset over what Tom Brenneman said, we're acting like there are brothers. No, I'm looking at you. I'm claiming victory because I told you this guy was a scumbag. He was an underhanded, slick, and was done in the dark will come to light. And that's what's happened with this guy. I told you that Better Bus Coalition crap was a fraud because I had the perfect candidate for him. 50-something years old, lives in the city, works in the next elevator shaft from him. Doesn't even talk to him. Picks a yuppie from Northside. Doing the white man's bidding. The puppet, when the string got cut loose, the puppet didn't know what to do. It became himself. So him and Tom Brenneman don't equate to me.
No, they do equate. Both in Cincinnati,
okay.
both made public.
Okay, we're
can I get
going
it
to cut
out?
this short.
Can I get it out?
You got to make a move.
I know you're going to tell me I'm wrong, but let me finish it first. So let me tell you how they do equate, at least in my head. So one, they both in Cincinnati, right? So we're talking about local issues. They're both in public, prominent, sort of visibility, okay? They might be in two different industries, right? And they both use homophobic slurs. So 3 for 3. There's a lot of similarities.
For fame, Rothstein, they don't equate to me. Why? Because Tom Brenneman never called the police on me.
Right.
Tom Brenneman never reported me to Twitter.
So it's personal.
So I don't give a damn what Tom Brenneman's doing.
Right, because this is personal.
Okay.
So that you have to add that into the mix as well when you deliver your commentary.
I had eagle eyes on him ever since the day he kicked off that fraud about Better Bus Coalition.
You have been talking ish about Cam Hardy since day one.
I said, thumbs up with this guy. Why are we so accepting of such a disheveled person like this?
And I think that your personal issues
you seen that? You seen that,
Liddy?
You seen at city council? He's in the back playing footy with. You seen at city council meetings? You seen at city council meetings? He's in the back playing footsies with white dudes.
How do you know?
Because I sat there and witnessed it myself.
And who
I was
were you
like,
playing
really?
footsies with?
I'm sorry?
And so you were in the back of city council. You were sitting in the back of council playing footsies with who?
No, I said he was.
I'm saying, how do you know this?
Because I witnessed it.
So you were there.
I said, yeah, duh.
Okay then. And my question is, who were you in the back of city council playing footsies with?
I wasn't playing footsies with anybody.
Oh, okay.
But more importantly, if I were, I didn't announce I was running for city council.
Okay.
There's a big difference in a citizen and a public personality.
I agree with you. There's a big difference between a citizen and an announced candidate for public office. I agree with that. But as I said earlier,
that's all.
And it needs to be
Please don't
reiterated.
qualify it. That's all.
I'm not qualifying. I'm moving
There's no
on.
need to qualify
As I
it.
said
You were
earlier,
about to.
And it needs to be reiterated.
I
I
don't want to participate in this
don't have to
conversation
participate.
anymore
I'm gonna get
because
out
you're trying
anyway.
to sell this guy to me,
I mean,
and it's not going to work. It's been real. I have fun. I'll holler at you at another move. Take some goddamn.
I got you, B. We don't cut you down. We don't need all that. You're getting emotional. What I want people to understand is that, and it's come out on this show, you have a personal beef with Cam. Y'all had some face-to-face confrontation you told us about. You went down to his job. I mean, way too personal. I've been telling you for a long time to leave that black man alone and focus on things that are more important. So, but getting back to what you brought to my attention here, I mean, I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? I think the racial slurs, especially if you're going to be somebody that's in a public office or be in a prominent position, is problematic. We're not talking about a racial slur. We're talking about a gay slur. I think it's problematic. So I don't know how Cam feels about this. I think that Twitter, the same way I said about the Mac twins when they was talking all that nonsense, acting like children on Twitter, I feel the same way with anybody else. You know, I think that when you're running for public office, there's a certain way that you need to conduct yourself. And I think there's certain language that you should be using when you conduct yourself because it will portray you in a negative life. And I think it could have blowback to, you know, your desire to run for office and attain office. I think it's a problem. You know, I'm consistent. I don't give a damn who it is. I ain't with the racial slurs. I ain't with the gay slurs across the board, period. But again, and I know you don't want me to get this out, you got some kind of weird man obsession, personal beef back and forth with Cam that goes back to some ish. I don't know why you was going to his job. And you admitted it right there. That's the reason why you feel like you're not contradicting yourself and you don't care about what Tom Brenneman said. As you was kind of losing it. I don't want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself in check. That's a part of the equation. You know, that's a part of the way, you know, you keep coming at this brother. So now he didn't say some dumb ish on Twitter and you want to call in and beat your chest like you told us. I reject all that. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree, and I'll say it now for Cam and anybody else. I think that your public comments and the comments that you make on Twitter and social media, if you're just a private Joe Blow, okay, it says something about you, but it don't mean as much. Once you start stepping into that realm of being an elected official, you got gay folks and heterosexual folks and transgender folks. I think it's something that the public should look at and consider. If they're talking about electing you for office, I don't care who it is, across the board. And I think that people should be very careful about that because, you know, that stuff can have a real major blowback. It really can. And, you know, if I was gay, if I was homosexual, which I'm not, it's something that in particular would really raise my antenna. I'm not gay, and it raises my antenna, and it makes me feel like, you know, it questions maturity. You know, it questions, again, it questions your maturity. And that's how I look at it. And I think that's how people should look at it. And I like him. But I feel that way about anybody because when you're an elected official, I think that, you know, like in the city of Cincinnati, you got all kinds of folks that make up this city. You got all kinds of folks. And whatever your personal views are, you better bury them deep because if you're elected to city council, you're elected for everybody. And I don't even know if this is true or not. I mean, sometimes I see it here, but sometimes people doctor these kind of things. I don't know where it's doctored. I don't know if Cam has put out a statement. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but I will. So again, you know, in the days that we live in, sometimes people can take your Twitter account and doctor stuff up. I don't know if that happened. It could be something that he actually tweeted out there and then he's either taken it down or he's expressed some regret on it. I mean, I'll look for it. But in general, I'm consistent, bruh. Across the board. I don't just say what I say because it's somebody that looks like me or don't look like me. You know, I got a problem with the isms across the board. And I think there's a level of maturity you should bring to the game when you get in front of these microphones and you get into the public eye. And that goes for anybody and everybody. And I don't think anybody out there can disagree with me on that. Goes across the board. So I'll look more into it and see if it's actually true. I don't know if this is the Russians or maybe it's actually in fact true. That's what he posted. And he'll have to deal with the blowback, whatever that might be. Just like Tom Brenneman. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see he said he was stepping down. I'm glad to see it. You should not be allowed to have such a hallowed, venerable position as being the play-by-play announcer on a national level for the Cincinnati Reds. And, you dropping F-bombs. You know what I'm saying? You dropping F-bombs. But I will be honest with you. I would question your maturity as well, IT. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You can't use the F-bombs and get all caught with the homo hysteria that I've seen you put up there, and then you want to hold somebody else accountable just because they might have announced that they're running for elected office. I mean, that's a very, very slim little difference right there, in my opinion. But thank you for bringing it to our attention. I appreciate it. Oh, man, it's 10:16 a.m. Damn. I don't want to leave. IT. You see, I put the IT up there. I just did it because he didn't like it. Don't tell me you don't like something, because depending on who you are, I'm going to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's all in love, though. It's all in love. So that's interesting. I did not know that. See. And again, I'll say it again. I'm the kind of black man that never delights in the downfall or the mistakes that I see black people making. There was some people out there ridiculing what happened with Tamai Denar. I didn't find anything to be funny about it. I don't think these are light-hearted matters. I'm just not one of them people. Like I said, I'm the same way about people that, have police records or you spend some jail time. You did your time, you come out, to me, you got a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? This is how I am. Some people want to throw it back in your face and it's ever before you. I'm not that kind of person. You paid your debt to society, unless you do some more dumb issues along the same lines. It is what it is. It's over. You know what I'm saying? So that's generally how I feel about these kind of things. But have you heard about this? Is anybody on Twitter? Is this in fact true? I think I gave you my opinion about it, and I'm committed. Letty writes, Nathan Ivey, let's review Biden's plan for black Americans. We can do that. Let me do this first, though. We're going to do that. We'll rock to 10:30. But first, let me take a quick break. If we're going to talk about Biden's plan, hey, listen, please like and share today's show, because we rock it past 10. I know there's other people in the Cincinnati market that start doing their shows around 10. That's great. But I'm still on, and we can still rock together. And you can deal with that later if that's what you want to get into. That's your flavor. But please like and share today's show. Your shares mean everything. I'm going to slip into a quick break, and then we'll come right back, all right? Don't go anywhere. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the black community. We'll be right back.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. The issue of racial equality and Black Lives Matter is front and center in the news. The Black Lives Matter movement was started in 2013. Co-founder Alicia Garza.
It really was just an idea whose time had come. And we were really able to meet a moment, particularly around the acquittal of a man in the murder of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. And we were able to talk about Black Lives Matter, not just in relationship to police violence or vigilante violence, but certainly to connect those types and forms of violence to the everyday experiences of Black communities around the world.
And the issue brought communities together.
And so I think what we're seeing here is a real deepening and connecting between and amongst communities around the ways in which disparities and inequality impact our lives.
Alicia Garza was one of the participants in Bloomberg's Equality Summit last week. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Jill Schiller has been missing in action, and now we know why. Did you know that Jill Schiller, candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, got away with a dangerous offense? Her friends and connections at Cincinnati City Hall turned their heads when she was racing through a Cincinnati public school zone doing 52 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. She could have killed a child. As a mother of 3, that's concerning. 25,000 children are injured each year because of speeding in a school zone. 100 children are killed in school zones each year by people like Schiller. Schiller should have served 5 days in jail as the law states, but Being privileged kept her out while you, the public, would have gone to jail. Her friends and connections at City Hall only fined her $60, and they quickly destroyed the evidence the next day. We cannot trust Schiller with our school children. Should we trust her to protect and safeguard our tax dollars? Vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. We can trust him to safeguard our tax dollars and our children.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. A beautiful new week. And it's always my pleasure to be with you. One man, one microphone, one mission. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm rocking till 10:30. Why not? My children are not in virtual learning. My son is not in virtual learning. Typically on Mondays, I got to get off real quick at 10 a.m. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to extend the show and just kick it with you. Just kick it with you. I mean, what's on your mind? You know what I'm saying? I'm highly flexible, very flexible. We can rock. Let's do it. Let me see. Good morning. Crystal writes, no, did y'all hear Pac-Man Jones endorsing Joe Dieters? Oh, my God. Is that because Joe Dieters did him a solid when he had some issues? You know, Pac-Man Jones smacked a woman, and then he had some issues in the back of a police car. Remember this? Anthony writes, Nate, you probably the only one that takes time to listen to that fool. You talking about Drop? I don't think Drop's a fool at all. Drop has a different perspective, and it's very valuable if you listen, if you know what you're listening to. I disagree with his whole assessment of Trump, but that's the way these black voices for Trump look at it. They look at it that way. They look at Trump differently. And so I think I take value in gleaning value from what he has to say. Good morning to you. Anthony writes, throwing bones to get reelected. Absolutely. Big Chuck says stupid-ish all the time. Talking about Charles Barkley. Says some of the most ridiculous stuff. Well, just oafish. I would use the word oafish. Charles Barkley comes across as oafish to me, but that's a big platform. That's a big platform. That show they do gets crazy numbers. Millions of people watch it. And when they deviate, and they do it quite a bit and talk about social issues, especially, you know, with everything that's gone on this year, man, they are influencers, whether you like it or not. Jasmine writes, I'm very uncomfortable because the date to go back was charged without a vote from the board. I just saw Joe Dieters' commercial against Fanon Rucker. At the end of the commercial, it said, don't let Fanon Rucker destroy Hamilton County. Again, that's the national and regional and local playbook from the Republican Party. You know, Joe Dieters is not going to run on reforms because he's not going to institute any reforms. Joe Dieters is not going to run on diversity because he's not going to do that. And I will say there's a lot of people that's overlooking this platform. Charlie Winburn got crazy visibility on this show last week. I'm talking about into the many tens of thousands last week just on Facebook. And I've reached out to folks. I mean, we are a media platform. You can use this platform to multiply your message. Smart people do. Let me see here. Why did Lenny B write platinum playing on these planters peanuts? The hell? Sandra writes, yes, marriage is a business. Yes, it is. I see some of these Democrats doing the same old ish. And what you're doing is you're not hitting new people. With this platform, you will hit new people. You know what I'm saying? You're hitting the same old places. It is what it is. Do you? David writes, marriage is a business. Stay debt-free, build tangible opportunities and long-lasting capital, establishing a living will. Facts on facts on facts. Right. I see a lot of my friends on Facebook have got married recently or you're getting engaged. I'm all about love. Love is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed enough to experience love, right? That's a beautiful thing. But tangibles, wealth building is even more beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's even more beautiful. Nothing's going to help your marriage than when you and your husband have a unified plan and you are both working in the same direction. Nothing's going to help your marriage more than every decision that you make is a shared decision just based upon your shared vision. There's nothing you can do, not even having children, unless children are a part of that overall down the road. Nothing's going to keep you together. Nothing's going to make you happier than that. Nothing. It ain't going to be Jesus. It's not going to, there's nothing you can do than building together, knowing that when she's working and you're working, y'all put money in the pot together. Y'all got a plan. Y'all about to buy this apartment building, or you about to, one of y'all is an entrepreneur. Y'all about to go all in on what on the vision is. That's what'll keep you together. That's what'll get you over the difficult moments when you think, oh, this is bigger than just feelings, because feelings are fleeting like looks. Feelings and looks, emotions change. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes erratically. You know, so you show me in a relationship where somebody wakes up and they're like, you know what? I just found out I'm a whole different person. I guarantee that they didn't have a shared wealth building business plan, because that's something that doesn't change. Emotions come and go, and he looks this way, she looks that way. I mean, you know, you together 20, 30 years, all that gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes radically. But when you got money in the bank, building wealth, equity, y'all on point together, y'all got a plan for retirement, that's what's going to keep you going. And you can believe it or not believe it. You can take this advice. You can ignore me and say, oh, no, we are equally yoked and we go to church every Sunday. I mean, that's a part of it. That's a part. But, you know, partnerships are supposed to be mutually beneficial, supposed to yield something. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to yield something. It's got to be deeper than they're attractive and y'all having sex together. It's got to be bigger than that, because you can get that anywhere. You can get that anywhere. Sex is the easiest thing in the world to get. It's so easy. Companionship, you can find somebody to come over and watch Netflix with you all the time. It don't mean you want to get married. It don't mean you want to have children with them. The most beautiful thing, there's a part in the Bible that says that he who finds a man, from a man's perspective, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Yeah. If she's on point with you, yeah. Because two heads are better than one. Any day, all day, two smart, intelligent people working for a goal is better than one person working for a goal. Any day of the week. And twice on Sunday. Any day of the week. And if you're a black man, you're about to marry your queen, the number one thing you can do is honor yourself and her by listening to her. Whatever her plans are, whatever she got to share, listen. Get out of your male brain and listen to her. Listen to her. Integrate. Put the action behind it, because a lot of these sisters know what time it is. They be trying to tell these men what to do, and these pig-headed, stubborn, me, I'm the man. That ain't manhood. Shut the F up. When your queen is telling you that real ish, listen to her. Put it in place. And then you'll have a great life. Or not. Keep it 100 with her. I agree with it. I agree with two things. Number one, you don't really have to get married. And then number two, if you're going to get married, if you find the right person, oh my God, it can make things great. If you look at it as a business. I told you I'm about 5-year re-uppable marriages. Start a business plan. You're together for 5 years. If it don't work, you can leave. You leave. All this, you got to be together, because that's BS. If it ain't working, leave. Period. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care how strong a Christian you are. Try at it. And if you bring kids into the relationship, you got to try even harder than if you didn't have kids, because you owe it to the children. But if it ain't working, we'll holler at you, B. You're going to waste your whole life trying to make something work and then wake up and you 60 like, damn, I could have got these last few years back. Don't do that. It ain't worth it. I just got a message from the Ohio Democratic Party. Like, must be some kind of text message or something like that. So that's my thoughts on marriage, man. I'm all about it. If you're going to do it right, you shouldn't be married for sex. You shouldn't be married for religion. You know, you should consider getting married if you have children. You owe it to the children and yourself. Try to make it work. If it ain't working, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm reading that everybody's favorite member of the Migos posted a video in which he's begging Cardi B to bring her back. I wouldn't do it. Move on, baby girl. You tried it, it ain't working. He out here cheating on you. Is he wearing a condom? See, that's the number one thing about me and cheating. It ain't the emotional, oh, somebody cheated on me. It's, did you bring me a venereal disease? That's what really matters. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't really control what another human being does with their body. I don't give a damn. That's your body. They ain't touch me. What I care about is, did you bring me something home and then have intercourse with me and not give me the chance to make a decision for myself as to whether I want to be involved with you or not? That's when I get upset. You know what I'm saying? All these hurt feelings, I mean, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got no reflection on me whatsoever. That's a reflection on you. When somebody cheats, that's their decision. That's what they wanted to do. It ain't got no reflection on you as an individual because they decide to go do something. Please. Think I'm going to get in my feelings because somebody else decided to go do something? It ain't happening. I did all that when I was younger. I had girlfriends. They cheated on me. I get in my feelings. Now I know what it is. That's them. So Cardi B shouldn't feel nothing about it. You should feel betrayed because, you know, they betrayed the trust and then betrayed your health, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference between, let's say you're in a marriage, somebody cheat on you, they come to you and they tell you, like, before you have sex unprotected, and they tell you. Then they lie to you for months and months and months. Y'all having unprotected sex. They ain't told you a damn thing about it. Then left you out there. Tell me those are not two different things. Two completely different things. One of them, both wrong, but one of them is a bit more responsible than the other. You know what I'm saying? You can be wrong and still be responsible. That's why I understand these dudes out there. I don't understand why you get married, you don't get a vasectomy, and then you cheat on your wife and you get somebody else pregnant. I don't have no respect for that. Go get a vasectomy if you're going to do all that. Be real with it. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do all that, be a man about it. On some levels. Damn it. Your daddy should have told you all this. But since so many men out there was brought up in these broken homes, Uncle Nate got to do it. So spread the gospel this morning. I'll do what I got to do. I'll do what I got to do. People saying congratulations to Tanika. Good morning to you. Jack Rice Platinum plan. There is no plan. This crapinum plan was created by an intern cutting and pasting from policy plans created by Carter, Clinton, Obama in the pace word. Perfect, right? A big-ass plan. Brandon Rice, good morning, Nathan and the fellow choppers. Now, somebody said we should compare it to Biden's plan, and I agree with you on that. I agree with you. It should be compared to Biden. People should do that. They should go to Biden's Black Agenda, which I don't like the name of it. It's Lift Every Voice. I mean, it's super cheesy in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's super cheesy. But the one thing I'll say about Biden is that at least he didn't wait until 1 month before the election to come out with it on some last-ditch effort to try to get black people. And what I would say is that his plan is, and again, this is my opinion. You go look at it for yourself. I would say this about Biden's plan. I would say there's no comparison between Biden's plan and Obama and Trump's plan. There's no comparison in terms of the comprehensiveness. There's no comparison in terms of connecting it to real-time policy ideas that has already been put out there, either by the Obama administration, in which they tried to get started on it and then got stopped by the Republican majority, you know, in Congress. And in terms of, it seems like it's much more in tune in terms of what I'm hearing in terms of other black agendas and also state agendas from the various states across the United States. I mean, it's not even a comparison. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even a comparison whatsoever. One of them seems like somebody really sat down and really thought about it, and the other one seems like you know what somebody just said in here, what Jack just said. You know, some Trump intern sitting around cutting and pasting, trying to come up with some dumbish to sell it to black voters. Now, I think what might be more interesting, and maybe just as interesting, is to compare it to the so-called, Ice Cube's plan. And again, I haven't checked the Ice Cube plan lately. I mean, I know he's updating on a regular basis. It's far more detailed, and it's being amended in real time. And that was the name of it. That was the purpose of it. I like the idea. I love the idea of having a black national agenda to challenge these other agendas out there. You know, one thing I would say is that there's already people in that space that have created national black agendas. I mean, people say we need a black pack. There is a black pack already. It's called the Black Pack. A sister started. She's been out there for years. They do have an agenda. They've been doing work out here, actually, trying to bring forth an agenda that might represent the national interests of a broad spectrum of Black people. I don't think you should overlook that. I think that should be incorporated. At least there should be some kind of dialogue. And people might disagree with that. It is what it is. And there's other folks as well in that whole Black agenda space on a national level that's been out there for years doing great work. Doing great work. I think that should be incorporated and considered. Ice Cube kind of put this out there like there is no agenda. And it was kind of a bit sexist, in my opinion, because there are some Black women that have already put an agenda out there and have been polling the interest of Black voters already, right, to help create the agenda, which, I think that's something that you might see from Ice Cube in his agenda. But if you compare the two agendas, and I did this about a month ago, I would have said, and again, I have to look at it again today because he's updating it. I would say the Biden plan appears to be more comprehensive than even the Ice Cube plan. I know people don't want to hear that. Conscious Black folks don't want to hear that, but you go look at it yourself side by side, and you tell me. But again, they're updating it. And I went to it about 3 weeks ago and saw some things that wasn't there, 5 weeks ago when I was taking a look at it, which is a great thing. I think it should be flexible, to add more ideas and things like that. At 10:37 a.m., if I'm really going to do that conversation justice, I would have to really sit down and look at it and look at the similarities in terms of, where there are similar ideas or ideas on similar issues to kind of see who has the best and most comprehensive, which I'm willing to do. I think that'd be an interesting conversation. I just can't do it now. Right now, what I can do is direct it to you, kind of give you a gloss over of my opinion as it is right now of those three agendas. I was interested in seeing Trump's agenda. I think every political office should have a Black agenda. What you going to do for Black folks? Like if we all agree that the government itself was intimately and specifically involved in keeping Black people down, that means that if we're going to uplift Black people, they have to have specific agendas and ideas specifically for our situation. That just makes sense. I've asked even some Democrat candidates about that, and they seem to agree with it, but to have not been prepared, with something specifically to deal with it, which I think they should. You know what I'm saying? I think, you can have like big, broad policy that's going to uplift Black folks as well, obviously, right? But I also think that you should have specific policies that deal with the specifics of the realities that Black voters have been living in, because there are things that specifically plots, plans that continue to this day that were specifically put in place to create the inequity that we see right now, in terms of Black wealth, white wealth, the life of Black folks and other folks in this country. It just makes perfect sense to me. But I will do that, and hold me accountable because it's not on my radar screen for the week, but I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. I think it'll be a real interesting conversation. I really, really do. Let me see. Hero writes, I believe it's overrated with interracial dating. You believe interracial dating is overrated? It is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody got to make their own decision. I think it's possible for you to date outside your race and get married to somebody outside your race as a Black person and still retain your consciousness and not sell yourself out and be running around here talking like Eve. And again, maybe that was just a quote and she's been misquoted and they just took one little piece, a sound bite, because they know they can run with it or whatever. But I think that's totally possible. But I think it's also possible that some people get in interracial relationships and they lose themselves. Like some Black women and men get into interracial relationships and they lose themselves. They lose their consciousness. They lose their touch with their community and start sounding like damn fools, like Charles Barkley, sounding like absolute zombies out here. And those people should keep their mouth closed. Nate, I get those chocolate-covered strawberries delivered to Queen Ivy by the school shift change. Okay. Chocolate-covered strawberries, huh? Jack writes, businesses go bankrupt every day. Yeah, and people keep starting new businesses every single day, right? Yeah. You don't judge your future by what something didn't happen. You try to shoot the moon. You try to shoot for the stars. Like every single day, businesses are going out of business, going bankrupt. Remember the .com boom and bust? Yeah, a whole bunch of .coms went bust, but people still out here starting startups and businesses. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with it. Nat writes, I was in Louisville this weekend and a white lady came up and apologized for white oppression. It was interesting. That is interesting. I mean, that's cool and all, but that's something you got to, to our white allies, it's cool to apologize if that makes you feel better, but because I ain't really changing nothing. But if you really want to be an ally, that's something you do every single day. That's something you do in your family. That's something you do in private. That's something you put in place as a professional. That's something you put in place as a business owner. If you are a business owner, that's something you do every single day. That's something you do when it's the most difficult to do it. Because walking up to a black dude in Louisville and saying, I apologize is one of the easiest things you can do. Challenging your white family and friends and friends and business relationships, right? When you get into the nitty gritty, when it's contract time, when it's time to make a decision, right? When the heat is on, that's when it really matters. Let me see. Let me see. Good morning to you as well. Good morning to you. TNT writes, weak man-ish must be called out. Oh, absolutely. Greg writes, good AM, brothers and sisters. Absolutely. Kelly writes, good morning. She is on YouTube. Windburn, speed bump, Jill Schiller. It is what it is. That's the world of politics. I see Cam is in here. He writes, good morning, folks. I didn't know you were here, Cam. He was in here at 9 a.m. Fast Pitch writes, nah, Joe will appear weak with the go high when they go low tactic. He needs to go hard, period. This is no time. I agree completely. All this, we going to turn the other cheek and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no. People want to see Joe. Even Trump supporters want to see. There's people on the fence right now. They voted for Trump last time, and they're on the fence right now about Joe. Those people, I think, want to see if the rumors are true, if the propaganda is true about Joe, or is it just some BS? That's what they want to see. Let me flash forward here. Be the change you wish to see. Y'all pulling for Joe. I'm pulling for us, change. I'm pulling for us. I'll say it again. Joe Biden was not, of all the candidates I saw on the Democrat side, he was not my number one choice. I see and see Joe Biden as being a part of the same old establishment on a lot of levels. I do. He was not my first candidate or choice. But unfortunately, what I wanted didn't happen. And third parties have not risen to the level of seriously challenging for the White House. So for grown folks out there, you got a few choices. You got third party, don't vote, Democrat or Republican. And with those four choices, to me, it's a clear choice. Those are the four choices you got. Don't vote, third party, Trump or Biden. Those are what you got. And we need to be big boy about it. We need to be grown folks about it and just deal with it. It is what it is and try to get better out of it. You're not going to get the candidate that you wanted, black folks. I know it. Some of you wanted Joe, but for those of you didn't get it, and nothing you can do about it. You can choose to sit out. I mean, that's your right. You can choose to go third party. That is your right. You can choose Trump and you can choose Biden. I mean, whatever you choose is up to you. But for me, it ain't even close. There's really no conversation. So no, I'm pulling for us. And with those four choices, to me, I only see one clear choice. And by us, I'm talking about working class people, black people in this country. I'm talking about mothers and fathers. I'm talking about business owners, startup owners, entrepreneurs. I'm talking about those kind of folks. To me, the choice is clear and even choice. It's hard to rationally debate a fool. That will be the problem debating hashtag Orange45. Anthony is 100% on point. How many more black folks does Joe have to lock up to lose black support? I hear you, change. I hear you, man. I hear you, but that's not what's at issue here in 2020. You know what I'm saying? That's not what the issue is. You're bringing up something from 25 years ago that we can't do nothing about. You know what I'm saying? I understand it's a concern. It should be brought up. He should be challenged, all of that. But, for me personally, that's not what time it is in terms of the ballot in 2020. Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people and the girls too. And the girls too. Okay, she switched it up. Woody writes, it will be a dog and pony show. More BS than anything. Let me flash forward. And shout out to council, city council, and all the leaders who are willing to now have these public hearings to find a solution to the problem in Lincoln Heights. And that is that gun range. Shout out to the folks showing leadership in that area. And they're willing to move forward to make something happen. That is a public health issue to the good folks that live in Lincoln Heights. It is a public health issue. Lincoln Heights and the people that live in Lincoln Heights will never reach their potential as long as that gun range remains there. The children that live in Lincoln Heights will never reach their potential as long as they are exposed to the pollution as a byproduct of that gun range out there. Would you want to live next to a gun range? Hell no. Okay, I see Charlie Winburn's in the house. He writes, good show. Hey, good show. Good to see you. Says, great show. Good to see you, Mr. Winburn. Good to see you. Let me see here. Flashing forward. Rosie writes, sorry, but Breonna Taylor was not that innocent. Her death was tragic. Hadn't she dated an ex-drug trafficker, she wouldn't have been in that predicament. Rose, so what you're telling me is that if you dated a drug dealer, let's say 2 years ago, and you have no associations, you moved on with your life, then you're open for the rest of your life to be harassed by the police because you associated with a dope dealer. We don't do that with people that associate with white collar crime. We don't do that. I mean, like I told you, you got to look at the impact here. You know what I'm saying? You know, there are some people that have been fed a lot of propaganda, and they have been fed the propaganda that dope dealers are at the top of the food chain when it comes to the overall human evil impact. And I don't necessarily agree with that. You got some white collar criminals out there robbing people blind, stealing their retirement money, retarding the growth of Black-owned and minority-owned businesses, stealing literally food out of the mouths of babies. We don't do that with their associations. I don't know, Rose. I disagree off the top. They found a dead body in her rented car. That's why she got let go from her job. The ex-boyfriend was still going to her house for unknown reasons. So if we don't know what the reason is, then why are we trying to fill in the blanks with something nefarious? Maybe it was a Netflix and chill session. I don't know. She bailed her ex-boyfriend out of jail. Okay, so how many of us have ever had a relative that went to jail? If you have a relative that goes to jail and then that relative calls you, or you put money on the relative's books, or God forbid, in the American judicial system, you bail somebody out, meaning they haven't really gone to trial yet and really have not. It's amazing how when it comes to police officers, it's always about innocent until proven guilty. But when it's black folks, just because you got arrested, that means that you're guilty. That's what people was running around with Rashawn Davis. Just because he got arrested, black folks was like, oh, he got to be guilty. Because the white man arrested him. And because the white man arrested him, he's got to be guilty. I'm trying to tell people, you can get arrested any day. The police can come in here right now and arrest me. It doesn't mean I'm guilty of anything. You're not innocent or guilty because you get arrested. You're not innocent because you got to bail yourself out. Oh, man. She would not have been dead. They knocked at the door. It's evident because that's why the boyfriend shot at the cop. Well, there's a difference between knocking at the door, bamming at the door, and announcing that you're police. Somebody starts knocking on your door very aggressively and they don't announce themselves. That is a threat. It could be Jason Voorhees on the other end. You don't know who the hell it is. Depending on your neighborhood, you might even feel like, you might be under assault. Somebody's trying to rob you. There's a big difference between somebody bamming on your door and saying, hey, it's the police, and somebody bamming on the door and not announcing themselves. And Rose, I appreciate your text messages more. That's why I'm spending time with it. I do not believe that Walker, her boyfriend, or any other sane and rational black man in America is going to hear bam, 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 police, and then pick up a weapon and fire a shot at the police. I don't believe it. I wouldn't do that. How many black men in the audience right now, if you're in that scenario, you're going to fire a shot at police? Why would you do that? They had no drugs in the house. They found no drug money in the house. So why would you do this? Explain that to me, Rose. Why would he do that? It's racist to believe that Walker would do that. It's racist, and it's very, very troubling and dangerous to the overall black family, because you're creating this narrative where innocent black men who have no reason to do so is just going to open on fire on police officers just because they bammed on their door. I'll tell you a story here. And my suspicion is, and this is what I think, and I'm going to be honest with you. I had 4 white Cincinnati police officers knock on my door. I wasn't here that day. The family was here. My wife didn't open the door. She looked outside. She saw the police. She didn't even open the door. I suspect, this is funny how this happened. And again, I have no warrants, nothing like that. I suspect this happened. It was 4 of them, which is very strange. So I suspect, and I wonder if this happened as a retaliation to me talking about Bruce Hoffbauer. I'll put that out there because it happened, the timeline was very consistent. It's very consistent. Like all of a sudden we break the story about Bruce Hoffbauer. These police officers just show up at my door. This really happened, like at the door I'm at right now. My wife didn't think about firing through the door. If I was at home, I would open the door. Why would I shoot at police officers? That would give me more problems than just opening the door. So I don't believe it. I don't believe that the witnesses can be coerced. There's a long history of that. Matter of fact, within the last 24 hours, I read about a black man that spent 25 years in jail because witnesses were coerced by police to lie and give false testimony. And then the witness, I guess he found a conscience 10, 15, 20 years down the line, decided to recount the story. So sometimes people, telling a lie is easy for human beings, especially when they feel like their life or their liberty is being threatened. And then, 2, people misremember and mishear. Some of these folks out there hearing voices and stuff. It's really the TV. They think they're hearing something from the door. She went on and on and on. I think I got the gist of it, Rose. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. But I just disagree with all of that. Dwayne writes, yeah, the FBI shot and killed a car owner. TNT writes, correction, most racist white people and apparently the position of ignorant black folks too. Cam is in here laughing at you, man. He writes, fame is so funny, man. Cam writes, I called the police on him. That's false. The tweet is from 9 years ago. I self-reported it. That's what I said was wrong. Oh, okay. So now we get more of a context in here, Cam. I'm getting it. So Fame went back. I don't know. Fame got a problem with you. I stay out of other people's issues because my life is beautiful. I don't need the drama. But I just picked up on it, man. I mean, I stand by what I said. I mean, whether it's 9 years ago, which I think that, I mean, there's a difference. 9 years ago, you can be a whole different person. It's problematic no matter when it happened. But he said he self-reported like, hey, listen, I'm coming to Jesus, so to speak. Okay, I get it. So that's the difference. See, fam, you ain't give us the context, man. So you wrong to bear that kind of witness on your brother, man, just because you got a personal beef. I'm telling you, my spider sense went off like, wait a minute, let me see what's really going on here. That's why unless I confirm things, I never confirm things. Unless I confirm it with my eyes and ears, I never confirm it. You know what I'm saying? I need to know what the whole story is. Fam, you have your nerve the way you speak about Angela Rye. Right. It's very troubling. Ratchet writes, why is this Nick Wise so angry so early in the moment? I guess he got angry at me because he felt like I was talking over him. I'm just trying to make sure that it's a conversation. It's not a soliloquy, okay? It's a back and forth. And then he's got all emotional, start cussing. I don't got time for all that. I'm going to cut you off real quick. We'll just move on. I value you, most certainly, but I don't have time for that. Let me see. I don't know. Oh, no. I called him IT. He said that was corny. Okay. I'm the corny one. Let me see. He's emotional because he said, call me by my name, insatiable, right? Again, maybe that's what it is. I don't want to call another man insatiable. I don't know. Cam writes, truth, Nate. Is his name Insatiable Trick or Trip? I don't know. I was very immature when I said those tweets. Nate is absolutely correct. If I said those things today, I deserve to be canceled. I said those things 9-10 years ago. Crystal writes, have a wonderful week, choppers. Let me see. Fast Pitch writes, replying to Sam Hardy, we live in such a cancel culture. You accept the responsibility for what you said. You grown. Right. I mean, that's different. You know, you was trying to make it seem like, you was trying to make it seem like it was something new. We going 9-10 years back? I mean, to me, it's a problem whenever it happened, but it sounds like from what I'm gleaning here now with Cam that he was sort of self-reporting like, hey, you know, let me just tell you before somebody else get to it quite, you know, really. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what people will do. People will go back 10 years on your Twitter line and find some stuff that you wrote to try to compromise you. So be careful, especially if you're thinking about running for elected office. I tell people, be careful. Be careful what you say. Because if I was being paid to dredge up some stuff on you, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. You can believe that. I'm going to go through, if you called into a podcast 30 years ago, I'm going to find it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to find that work. And we're going to put it out there. It's just what it is. That's just the game. And you can prevent it by just being careful about what you tweet and what you say. I mean, the English language is so broad. You can even do some Swahili if you want to. You know, the language itself, human communication is so broad. You can find ways to communicate yourself without compromising yourself. You can do that. Damn, it's almost 11. I got to go. Rose writes, Cardi B is trash. Her message to young girls is immoral. Okay. Jericho writes, Nathan, you're switching up, Mr. LOL. Did I? I recall you saying all a man needs is WAP and a woman with a good head on her shoulders. That's kind of what I said, but how'd I contradict myself? I said that one of the best and I'll say it again. I said from a male point of view, this is my male point of view, and I think there's many men that might agree with me, that the best combination of woman is a soft arms and a strong mind. How's that a contradiction? I don't see it. Is it better to have a soft ass and a weak mind? Is it better to have I'm not even sure what I could put in as an example for the arse part. I'm not sure, but I don't see where's the contradiction. How am I switching it up? I stand by what I said. I got that. I wasn't looking for nothing else. Most men are looking for the same thing, just like women. Y'all want heart and a strong man. You don't want a weak man, do you? Now, if I'd have said I want a strong ass and a weak mind, then you might have something to talk about. That's not what I said. I think that what it is people want to read something negative into it, but there's really nothing negative there. It's a compliment. A man is looking for a woman that's attractive to him and also has a strong mental. A man is not looking for a woman who he's not attracted to and has a weak mind. At least I'm not. When I was in college, I wasn't looking for a weak-minded black woman. I was looking for a strong-minded black woman. As a human being, I didn't want to walk through life with somebody who I'm not attracted to. I wanted somebody who was attractive. I'll tell you my criteria. I wanted a black woman, a sister, college educated, strong mind, strong moral caliber. I wanted somebody who could check me. And that's what I got. I wanted somebody who could get on board and had strong enough mental muscles and physical metal that when we got into the boat of life and we started rowing, that we could row together. That's what every man wants. So, Jerica, I know that some of the women in the chop shop want to try to turn it into something negative, but I don't see what's negative about it. That's the best combination in a woman, period. From a male standpoint. I don't see it. I don't see what the problem is. And yes, I mean, WAP is something that a woman provides to a man, just like whatever the acronym is for good sex. For a woman, That's what a man can bring to a woman. That's something that people are looking for in relationships. Right? You're married. I'm sure you didn't marry a weak-minded black man. Okay. And I'm sure you didn't marry a black man who didn't satisfy your physical needs. Okay. So what's the difference? There ain't no difference. Stop trying to read something negative into it. There's nothing negative there. Let's see. I never said that his intention was to shoot a police officer. Never ever insinuated that. Not her new boyfriend, but her ex. Yes, the cops don't know who's behind that door. It's a drug bust. Again, I'll say it again. Drugs, the war on drugs is more detrimental to black folks than the drugs themselves. Because the war on drugs has led to a generation of over-incarceration, a divestment of tax dollars into police and law enforcement, rather into our schools, the social structure that really would have benefited us. And from time to time, the mistakes that happen that lead to direct loss of life under the guise of getting drugs off the street. They should just legalize it, but they won't do that because that takes away the rationale for obese police budgets and just the whole, rationale for having thousands and thousands of police officers like in cities like Cincinnati. So I'll say it again. The war on drugs has been, in my opinion, more detrimental than the drugs themselves. And you see, they didn't do that with white folks when it came to opioids. They had a whole different mentality because what they realized using black people as the petri dish was that all it's going to do is destroy the family unit by sending a lot of people to incarceration lockup facilities, redirect necessary critical tax dollars from where it really should be, and ultimately, it's not going to stop addiction one bit. So, I just don't look at it that way. When I see these, and the police love to do this. They love to trot out, we have some big drug bust, right? They do that in Cincinnati all the time. We found millions of pounds of this or that. I just look at it like, okay, that's just a drop in the bucket. You found that, but you didn't find 10 times as much that got past you. Because while all the police is huddled up taking pictures like, oh, man, we found all these kilos of cocaine. 10 times as much got past you when you wasn't paying attention. Come on, man. Let's be real. Can we be adult about these issues, please? And only because I said this about one man, it doesn't mean I paint all black men with one brush. I get you. Don writes, I don't believe the AG's version of the events involved in the case as well. All right. So that's my time, folks. I really appreciate you being here. I will be back with you and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7:30 a.m. We will chop it up on everything that's happening between now and then. You never know who we'll be talking with. It's election season, right? It's political season. So I'm going to continue talking with some of the folks that want to represent you as judge and also elected officials and positions here in Hamilton County. And we'll chop it up tomorrow morning. Please like and share today's show if you like this content. If you haven't already done so, please find me on YouTube and like and share today's show. And make sure you give a like and a follow to Sin Digital Media, a new voice in the city of Cincinnati. Oh, yeah, and big news tomorrow. 2 new shows, 2 new live stream podcasts I'll be revealing tomorrow. And you can listen to the shows within the next 2 weeks. Very, very excited about it. Again, the mission to amplify black voices continues, and it's all because of you. So thank you for being here. I'm Nathan Ivey. We'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm out.
Yeah.